Chicken German.
All right, welcome to the internet. Here's what it is. All right, the internet is now a place where you go to pay hundreds, if not maybe even thousands of dollars to hear about guys cum. The internet is now just a place for Cumguys. It's a place to turn guys into Cumguys. It's a place to facilitate their Cumguy needs. And it's a place for you, the viewer at home, to sit there and wonder about and think about and enjoy nature's candy, cum. Now, if you don't know what I mean by this, Nick Rekieta and Aaron Imholte are infamous cum guys. And over the weekend, there was an entire celebration of their cum guy love for one another. Now, Aaron wasn't at the celebration because that would be insane. But Nick Rekieta was. And he went there so that he could have his fetish out loud in front of other people. Anybody in here right now actually see any of Hackamania over the weekend? Did you catch any bits of it?
Yeah, we watched Mersh, who was watching
Saw it through Mersh. Okay, we're going to watch a little bit of Mersh's coverage of it as well tonight. But we're going to go over this entire thing because it's really, I have been banging the gong on this one for so long. I'm an anti-cum guy, okay? Cum guys need to be eradicated. There's something that happens to your average internet man where when he's exposed to the internet for long enough, he gains a certain level of clout, a certain level of power and influence, and a certain level of notoriety that allows him to live out his nerd fantasies. And that's what's really happening here is a bunch of nerds. Whenever you give nerds power, they always turn it into evil and gross. These are their only options. This is all they know. We know this is a society. We've seen this a million times in fiction. You know, a nerdy guy. They had this on Black Mirror recently. A nerdy guy makes a video game so that he can rape ladies. That's the entire point of the video game. The movie Revenge of the Nerds. This entire idea that the meek shall inherit the earth. I don't know who came up with that one. Some retard. But it's the worst possible thing that could ever happen. I remember 20 years ago, they started saying that the nerds are taking over. The nerds are... You see what happened, right? You see what happened when the nerds took over. Now you have T-girls, all right? So that's what happens when you let the nerds take over. The cum gets to their brain and it builds up so much. And I'm not saying that they're all virgins. I'm not saying it's because they've never touched a woman, although I'm getting suspicious. I'm saying that they've never had even a modicum of control over that aspect or any aspect of their life before. And at a certain point, they get the money, they get the, at least at the very least, the audience that allows them to have that kind of control. And they don't know what to do with it. It's like a dog chasing a car. So, speaking of the Earth's jokers, Nick Rekieta goes on stage. And here's the thing. Here's the craziest part. The fans of Nobody Likes Onions and The Biggest Problem in the Universe and Who Are These Podcasts? I don't know what the other ones that showed up. All these Dabbleverse freaks. They got tricked. They got trolled in maybe the funniest way ever possible. Patrick Melton might be a genius when it comes to this. Because not only did they give him money, but they were trolled into becoming part of a public humiliation fetish ritual. And it's not for Aaron Imholte, which is what everybody thought they were going for. You might as well have called Hackamania the Aaron Imholte show. Every single part of that festival was a festival of nonsense about one guy. I called this a year ago. I said the Dabbleverse is now the Aaron Imholte verse. There is nothing else. And if he took a month off of the internet, it would crumble. And of course, Aaron is so fucking stupid, and maybe he's so webonically controlled by his tarantula that he will never, ever actually do that. I don't know that he could afford it. I mean, after all, fellas, we do have a goal. Am I right? So, and it turns out every hole's a goal when it comes to Aaron Imholte.
I'm about to bust.
All these guys think about is busting. Nick Rekieta, on the other hand, Aaron, absolute cum guy. Some of the most horrifying things ever were revealed about him. Nick Rekieta was part of Hackamania. This insane troll of like making everyone part of this ritualistic fetish scenario was psycho enough on its own. It's Mother's Day weekend, and Nick Rekieta has to look at his wife, who, let's be honest, must hate him at this point.
Nick Rekieta and I are fucking each other.
He has to look at his kids and go, I'll be back. Don't do any lines without me. Daddy's got business to attend to. And then he went on the internet and told everybody about his sex. See ya, Dad. He put on his businessman hat, you know, the old hat, and he took his briefcase. He tightened up his tie. He had no other clothing on, fully nude beyond the tie and the Yogi Bear style collar. And he goes, goodbye, everybody. And he gets on a plane. He goes all the way to Las Vegas, which I feel like that alone is breaking probation. I don't know if he's already on the probation or not, but I feel like whatever happens there stays there for a reason. The very act of going, you know something was up. And he went on stage and he humiliated himself. And he humiliated Aaron too. Don't get me wrong. Aaron is apparently a cum guy. You know what? Let's just cut to the chase on this. Here's, and we're going to be playing a lot of the clips from @MiseryClips on Twitter. So thanks to him for these clips. This is straight from Hackamania, and this is one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened.
I'm smiling a broad smile. I can still see my sexy body splayed out on your bed, my chest covered in your cum, going down between my pretty tits.
Just to be clear, this is an AI recreation of Ape. Okay? Aaron Imholte's ex-wife, Nick Rekieta's current mistress, Ape. This is her voice, and this is her text to Nick. And that part's really important, by the way. This is a screenshot that Nick kept after April sent it to him. So one more time from the top.
I'm smiling a broad smile. I can still see my sexy body splayed out on your bed, my chest covered in your cum, going down between my pretty tits. I can see him
and also pretty tits. Do you mean like pretty much there tits? Like barely? Like, yeah, they're pretty much tits. I guess, legally speaking, you can't share a picture of them without paying $50. That's for sure. Pretty? I don't know.
Climb on top of me.
I heard her tits have the same much level of forehead as her head, by the way.
To fuck me, but to lick me clean. Maybe I wanted to save that for later. But you taste like heaven. I couldn't blame him.
So apparently Aaron was licking Nick's cum off of Ape. Which, who could blame him? Apparently it tastes like heaven. A thing that April could never know, because despite the fact that Aaron called her an angel, let's be honest, we all know where April's really from. Jewish heaven.
Oh, no! 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 No!
And the crowd goes mild. I'm sure they are going crazy. None of these guys have yet figured out that you need to mic the audience. There's going to be some incredibly awkward scenarios during this where they hold for laughter and applause, and it's just silence. Now, the crazy
stupid fucking puppet.
Okay, yeah, there is a puppet. I wasn't even going to address the cum rag in the room, but there is a puppet. Let's forget about it. Hey, listen. At the very least, the potato didn't show up, okay? We didn't have to deal with a human floating potato walking around doing a what was a Quiznos sponge monkey commercial at us for a full hour. So anyway, listen, this is, by the way, one of the craziest parts of this is this rumor of Aaron being a cum eater and sucking cock and all this stuff has been out there for like a year now.
I suck fucking cock all the time. I just like to say I'm fucking Nick Rekieta in the ass.
I don't know about that one. Although, yes, let's spread that rumor. That news has been out there forever. But they're acting like this is a big reveal. I was like, I kind of felt like I already knew this. And so here's the craziest part. In the big buildup to Hackamania, Aaron, every day he's going on his show going, Hackamania, they've got nothing. It doesn't matter whatsoever. And of course, it's very obvious to us, the PODAWFUL cult. We've already been here before. We've seen this happen. Okay? We watched as they did this to Maddox. This is the old Dick Masterson playbook. They already did every single thing they're doing to Aaron to Maddox. And it's very clear that Nick Rekieta is trying to follow in the footsteps of his hero, Dick Masterson. And by the way, becoming a cum guy is part of that. There's no bigger cum guy than Dick Masterson. I mean, you couldn't pay a guy on Craigslist to become a bigger cum guy. Trust me, Dick Masterson has tried. You couldn't milk cum from somebody harder than Dick. And the point is, Nick is trying to pull a Dick. And I'm not talking about Aaron Imholte here. So in this big lead up, Aaron keeps going, he's got nothing. Patrick Melton tweets out an ominous tweet. It's a close-up picture. Picture this in your mind of a wedding ring. And it's taped to what looks to be a chicken scratch handwritten letter. And this letter promises to be the most devastating thing of all time. Now, never mind the fact that they did, again, exactly the same thing to Maddox before. That letter turned out to be a dud. No, this is different. This is different because, listen, again, everybody's already known about the cum stuff. Everybody already had heard all these rumors. This was going to be the grand finale of all of Hackamania. They're edging you all weekend long. The buildup rises. You can feel it in your cockles as you edge yourself all the way to the big climax, that big finish. And I'm going to show it to you tonight. I've been told that, we could get DMCA'd and this is going to be a big problem. And as a matter of fact, we were watching Mersh cover this. And again, we were going to cover some of Mersh's coverage of this as well. We were watching Mersh cover all this and he kept saying, go ahead, Patrick Melton. Try to take me down. I don't care. I'm on Rumble. There's nothing you can do. And then he just took his own video down out of fear. I'm not scared. Don't even bother trying, Patrick. That'd be a stupid move. We're covering Hackamania. And if you didn't want people to do it, then don't invent a festival based around cum. This is PODAWFUL.
Not uncomfortable at all. This is total.
Welcome, everybody, to the program. I'm your host, Jesse P.S. Happy to be here. H2BH, thank you, Henchman, for joining me as well.
Yeah, always happy to be here.
Happy to be here, of course. We're live over on PODAWFUL.tv Mondays, Thursdays. I don't know. There's no schedule anymore. Who gives a shit? Don't pay attention to that. That's fake. Okay. There's no such thing as a schedule. Schedules aren't real. It's the internet. You've got time. Trust me, you've got time. We had a festival for cum. You've got time. All right. Grab a Dr. Pepper. We're enjoying a nice Dr. Pepper Zero. You can drink 1,000 of these. It doesn't matter whatsoever. Oh, check this out. Look, Nick Rekieta's here, everybody. We've got Nick Rekieta
Hey, Nick.
here. Hey, everybody. Let's see if he...
I made a shitload of really bad decisions.
Yeah, he made a shitload of really bad decisions. I'm being told in the chat, by the way, that Elissa Clips got DMCA'd on a bunch. Listen, I'm covering other people covering. I'm covering other people's clips that have been uploaded. And also, and just to be clear, this is fully transformative. In fact, nothing's been more trans since Nick Rekieta did his weird e-girl stream online. And by the way, I also talked to Aaron Imholte directly about all this. I got his input. And when I say input, obviously I don't mean Kayla Rekieta style, output, whatever. There's a lot of, listen, there's people inputting, there's people outputting. We don't need to litigate any of this. Much like Nick Rekieta himself, who has never litigated anything. He's a fake lawyer. So he's a blackface fake lawyer. One more time.
I made a shitload of really bad decisions.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, what do you guys think about the cum guy thing? Because I have been talking about this forever. We had a whole intervention with our friend Salvo Pancakes about this. I'm trying to get him to stop being a cum guy. Obviously, it didn't work. Didn't take. Didn't take. Who are the other cum guys out there? Nick and Aaron are the obvious ones. Who else has like become a cum? And Dick Masterson, obviously. Who are these other cum guys? Is there anybody else? Like
Rufio is.
Well, I mean, that's a whole other thing. That's like Rufio is the nerd who is trying to take over, is trying to inherit the earth. He hasn't actually gotten that power yet. We just keep giving him girlfriends for free. That's a little bit different. You know who? Ethan Ralph. A little bit of a...
That's true.
Yeah.
Ethan Ralph. A little bit
Royce.
of a guy. Here's the thing with Ethan Ralph, though. Yeah, Royce, definitely. Here's the thing with Ralph. He's celibate now. He said, listen, I know I got problems. Is this what Ethan Ralph sounds like? Apparently everybody does a Ethan Ralph impression and none of them sound the same. No two people have ever done the same one. I could do PPP's version. It's just a southern dandy who's sweating really hard. Listen, everybody. Matter of fact, I'm not a cum guy. I don't know what the fuck he's never one time sounded like that, but everybody's like, that's the best one. Anyway, Ethan was like, look, I know I got a problem. I take too much Xanax. I drink too much. I fly off the handle easily. It's time to put a stop to my major problem. I'm never having sex again. And then everybody's like, yeah. That was it. The whole time the problem was that he has too much sex. I didn't know. Did you guys know? So...
Didn't know.
Now I do.
Yeah, well, I retweeted him. I said, yeah, that thumb's not celibate, though. Ain't no way he's keeping that thumb clean. You know that much. Yeah, Royce Lopez, a big cum guy. It's crazy how it happens. And also, that is also the function of what's happening when a goon troons. The goon to troon pipeline, it's really just a pipeline of an attempt at becoming a cum guy, but never getting the power or influence to do it. Like, what do you think happened to Chris Chan? He had his, never-ending search for a boyfriend-free girl. He never got one, so he became the girl. It's the same fucking mindset that does that. That's why, Nick Rekieta, before all this went down, turned into an e-girl for a bit, started showing off his butthole on camera. He did like an OnlyFans thing. He was being a thought.
Oh, the bottle between his thighs or his butt cheeks.
Oh my God. This is what's so crazy is his life has gotten so fucked up that everybody forgets about like the baldo and the butt cheek bottles and the showing off his wife's tits. Like there was the rumors forever. Everybody knew they were going to the swinger thing at, what is it? Sandals or what was the other one? Hedonism. Hedonism 2.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Isn't it so disgusting the way these swinger guys are like, yeah, I'm a hedon. Ooh, I'm hedonistic. Yummy. And how do you even have a hedonism 2? Like, that's the most hedonistic you could be, is having 2 of those. That's asking for a little too much, if you ask me. Like one guy holding grapes above your head is enough. You got two oiled up, chesty gentlemen feeding you peeled grapes. So anyway, I assume that's what happened. Anyway, Nick, it's never enough. And the same thing is true for Aaron. It was never enough. You know, he had Ape. He had his show. Every week, it's another win for the toe. I've never seen a guy win so much. So I did ask him about this. I wanted to get his input on this. I will tell you what he said to me because he's, you know, the story's been changing quite a bit. In fact, I think he talked about it today. Whatever he said today is not what he said to me in private, though. I got an exclusive interview with Aaron, which I will be sharing with you. But let's go through it. Let's actually see what changes a man. How deeply can a man become this disgusting, this deranged? And no, I'm not talking about Aaron and Nick. I'm talking about all the guys who want to know this stuff so badly that they paid $200, I think, for this. I don't know what it was. I don't know what a ticket. Does anybody in chat know what a ticket to Hackamania cost? Or
I think
the stream, what that cost?
I believe a ticket was $135, and then like the VIP ticket was double that, $270. I believe that's what Mersh said.
What the fuck does a VIP get? Do you get to drink the cum? Like, what is that?
It makes me feel good.
Okay, so I don't even know what that would mean. You get to put your hand up the puppet's ass and feel around in there, see what you can find. There's a party favor in there. It's the Baldo. Shit, I won the Baldo. They have a raffle for the Baldo. You have to be a VIP.
You
Front row splash zone.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Gallagher style.
Yeah.
You've done your business. You're like, all right, moving on. Other things to do.
Yeah, I think
they were
probably
both cleaning up.
probably went to the bathroom. Like a
Okay, so they're talking about a man and his business. All right. You know, it's a good, like, listen, this is, you know what's insane? I mean, we do enjoy this kind of thing. We have whole episodes about Mersh's poop cycles, okay? I'm not, trust me, I'm not telling tales out of school here. I get where we are on the totem pole when it comes to this sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong. What's crazy to me is that the guy is there. Like, if we had Awful Mania, and we did the Bristol stool chart of how thick or how runny Mersh's shits were, but Mersh was sitting on stage going, yeah, I'd had a lot of extra kratom that week. I've been dry hatching. That would be too insane. That you don't. How did the goon not only get invited, but he showed up?
normal man.
So he used April to launder your cum. Like, that's what that was about.
Oh, Scott's there.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, nobody likes onions. Scott. They've got their very own Scott. They copied Scott. It shouldn't be possible, but somehow he did it.
Tissue.
How often? Almost every time I ever had sex with him after you.
So this is all right. So Nick brings in all these screenshots. They've already got all these pre-planned. They've got AI voices reading them. Every time you hear one of these, it's an AI voice reading it. And of course, none of them or very few of them are attached to any sort of context. It's never Nick's side. You know, we had the Simpspiracy. We had Dick Masterson's Simp text. I read you everything. Everybody looks bad in it. Nick is like, no, you're in the family group chat with your cum horde. It's not like he didn't say anything embarrassing in there. And stupid Aaron probably deleted all of these so he can't expose Nick back. Nick knows that. None of these have dates on them. None of them have times on them. Now, I'm in no way claiming that these are Photoshop. I need to be clear about something very important from the very beginning of this episode, okay? April claims, at the very least in private to Nick, in a private message, why would she lie about this in a private message? In a private message, April claims that Aaron licked Nick's cum off of her human body. And I want to say this right now, unequivocally, here at PODAWFUL, we believe all women.
Yes.
Unequivocally, we believe women. When they say something gross and funny about a goon, we believe them. Now, Ape's a goon herself, but again, it's a private message. She didn't know Hackamania. This had to have been before that, right? All of these messages had to have existed before there was going to be tickets sold to hear these messages, right? Again, no timestamps, no dates, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe.
Often, almost every time I ever had sex with him after you wrecked me on your birthday.
Oh, God.
Yuck.
Those bloody sheets keep Aaron coming. He brought it up.
Okay, so apparently Nick did a comedy She-Man style wreckage to her. But hey, it was his birthday. I mean, can you blame him? If you're going to go to town on a lady, if you're going to get the your Red Wings, you might as well wait for...
All the...
Okay, whoa, back up. She was a virgin? What did you do to this poor girl? Oh, yay!
How often?
So some dumb bitch in the crowd goes, she was on her period. Thanks! Thanks! Let's remember dumb bitches, by the way. Now, while we are believing women, that doesn't mean that we are on the side of dumb bitches. Just to be clear, we're still going to call out dumb bitches. There's a whole thing. We got to talk about dumb bitch laws again coming up here in a second, because it's actually worse than I had ever imagined. But yeah, she's on her period. Oh, you're saying, so just to be clear, Nick's not Cockzilla. Nick didn't actually just ruin her, just broke her. She got broken. My wife has nothing to do with this. My wife was watching a show. I don't know what the show is, but apparently it's got like gangsters and prisoners and these different gangs. And I guess they've got she was explaining to me, I don't watch whatever the show is she watches. And she was saying like, oh, there's this Russian gang and they're working with this other gang. And there was a girl and a girl, they were like using these sex slave women. And a girl was using this sex slave. And she walks in, she walks out of the room from using this sex slave girl and goes, I broke your new toy. And then they walk in and the sheets are all bloody. And she goes, what does that mean? She broke her. What does that mean? I was like, I don't know. She busted her fucking vagina. She bled. What do you mean? What does it mean that she's broke? She bled. Is that not enough for you that a lady's broken? Her butt, her vagina. I don't know. It could have been her mouth for all I care. If skin breaks, you're broken. And speaking of broken people, Ape. So Ape is bleeding all over the place, and Aaron loves it. And again, I'm going to be fair and balanced. I'm going to give Aaron's side of this. But me personally, I believe April.
Almost every time I ever had sex with him after you wrecked me on your birthday.
What'd you do to her on your birthday?
He wrecked her. He damn near killed her.
Wrecked her.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you, New Zealand, Scott.
He had sex with her. Like,
All right.
Nick is such a dork. This is how you know that I'm right about this, like, Revenge of the Nerd scenario. Listen to Nick's reply to this.
To her on your birthday. Wrecked her.
I just had sex with her.
I just had sex with her. Well, number one, what is the lisp? Where did that come from? That's new. I just had sex with her. Yeah, we know. We know. He's so excited about the idea that people are finding out he has sex, which you would think that the kids would be enough. You would think a guy with 5 kids wouldn't be insecure about that. I just had sex with her. We know. We all know. They paid to know more.
Like,
All right.
but it was different than how Aaron does it, apparently.
Yeah, Aaron's a polite gentleman. He doesn't fucking make a lady bleed like she's some sort of Russian sex toy.
How often? Almost every time I ever had sex with him after you wrecked me on your birthday.
Ugh.
Those bloody sheets keep Aaron coming.
And by the way, every single one of these guys replay. Every single, they need to hear this 2-3 times.
He brought it up all the time, and we'd have to fuck as soon as he brought it up.
Okay, listen, this is absolutely the most horrifying, disgusting thing ever. This is, you never come back from it, pack it up, leave the internet bad. Aaron Imholte should put a gun in his tarantula's mouth and pull the trigger until all 8 legs stop moving. Obviously. If 1/10 of what has been found out about these freaks was ever in my closet and found out about me, I would have to give up it would be a Chris Benoit situation. Let me just put it that way, okay? I would be out there. I'd be buying a Nordic track the next day. I wouldn't know how to use it, but I would be making large purchases, final ones, where the bank would be like, "Are you sure?" And I'd be like, "Trust me, I don't need the money for anything else from here on out, and neither does my family." Now, with that said, that is equally true for Nick, Kayla, and Ape. Here's the thing. These guys are in a 4-way cuckatudinal quadrilation. Okay? I don't know what that means. I was trying to go with triangulation, but 4. Quadrilation. And relation. This is what they get off on. Like, newsflash, this is the deal for them. The entire experience of this. When Nick was going to, long before there was an Aaron or Ape, when he's going to hedonism, when he's going to Sandals, Jamaican resort, and Kayla's meeting up with the Jamaicans, and they're Jamaican her bleed all over the bed, too. I don't even know it's their birthday. Probably was hers, if I had to guess. She's got a new birthday. She was like, I was reborn that day. The day I was broken. She got buck broken by Jamaicans. When they were going there was no Aaron involved in that. There was no Ape involved in that. What do you think they're getting off on? The whole thing is this. This is, so, I get it. Don't take this the wrong way. I fully get it. Aaron is Patrick Melton's Mersh. This is his top guy. This is his number one goon. He has to take the side of Nick so that he would never have gotten this if he didn't act like Nick was cool. But this smokescreen needs to fade away instantly. At a certain point, Melton has to turn on Nick, or else this becomes desperate and gay. Because there's now, I hate to say this, this is almost too mean and it's disgusting. There is now a 5th member of the quadrilation. Okay, we're in quintation here. And his name is Patrick Melton. He is fully involved in this. He knows every scintillating, salacious detail of what's gone on in their sex life. He knows every drop of cum and where it was placed. He's basically the Dexter of cum. Yes, dark passenger. My cum passenger tells me I must collect cum.
Moist passenger.
My moist passenger, yeah. So this is like Patrick Melton is this bizarre. He's almost the tarantula of this relationship, pulling the threads, pulling the webs, making all these things happening. He's their cum accountant. He's finding all the different... And I get it. It's funny. It is funny. But, we've done this trick before. You cozy up to the one guy to make fun of the other guy, and then you reveal that guy also sucks, too. You have to do the part where that guy is also gay and gross and bad, or else you are now part of the relationship.
Man, I wonder what Nick's cock is doing right now. Let's go fuck!
And okay, you can say that through a puppet while wearing a luchador mask all you want. You're still the guy having that thought in your head. That crossed your mind.
Now, hurry before I lose it! Little Moody, get up! Little Moody, get up!
What's funny is,
What's funny is that you were on stage for this. I cannot believe it. I cannot get past the fact that Nick is there. And look, now they had a little bit of sense. They had the slightest bit of sense, and they made him sit off in the content cuck chair. Look at this. Look at this. There's a whole table in front of these guys. There's 4 of them. And so for a second I went, no, Jesse, one of those is a puppet. That's not a person. Please don't be a Dabbleverse guy and think a puppet is a man. But then I realized he's actually covering up a 4th man. So there are 4 guys there. There's a table, and they made Nick sit by himself off to the side. He's literally in a cuck chair. Why didn't they just bring, they're all staying in hotels probably. Just bring the chair from the hotel, make him sit in the audience and do this. Yell up from the bottom of the stage. He's in the orchestra pit. you should have had an orchestra for this. You really want to make Hackamania a legit thing and not just a Cumguys fantasy. So, but seeing him on the stage is so insane to me. I really cannot believe it. If Aaron, listen, let me put it like this, because there's going to be the Aaron haters out there who are like, nah, it's not the same. It's like, number one, Aaron fucked this guy's wife. Okay? So it is the same. But number two, imagine if Aaron showed up for Hackamania as an invited guest and told everybody this stuff. Everyone made fun of Aaron when he did it on Keno Casino. At least that was he didn't have to leave the house. Okay? He got to sit there, eat his coleslaw. He was just on his normal setup inside his basement. And then when he was done, he got to smoke a pizza, which is apparently an activity he does. Nick bought tickets to fly to Las Vegas to tell everyone this stuff.
That happened. They had to pull over the car because they started talking about it while driving.
And he had to get road button.
Okay, so just to be clear, so you're saying he was still having sex with the lady? So Kayla Rekieta stopped having sex with Nick. This is on the record. Kayla and Aaron formed a relationship. This has been the narrative this entire time has been that April and Nick fell in love and Nick stole April away. Again, it's Dick Masterson, Maddox all over again. Who's the real cuck here? Because the guy talking the most shit is going to spin it his way. And obviously, you know, this is the cool kids table, by the way. If you saw this in the lunchroom and one guy opens up his lunchbox and takes out a puppet and puts on his mask, you'd go, okay, these kids, watch out. We got a new trench coat mafia in town. Nobody say anything bad. We got to pretend like these guys are fun. You ever do that? You ever in school, you make friends with the fucking weird kids so you don't get shot? So you get the don't go to school tomorrow warning ahead of time? I did. I know everybody thinks I'm that kid, by the way, but I wasn't. We had them. We had several of those kids. One of them was Ronnie. Ronnie was in my art class. And I was like, Ronnie, I'm your best friend, man. Listen, I know everybody makes fun of you. You're a weird looking guy. You have more zits than face at this point. You're somehow human. Like the amount, if somebody runs into you too hard, you'll pop. And I just want you to know, if anything were to happen, I've got your back always. And I'll help. I know how to build a pipe bomb. I'll help. So I'm with, hey, do I believe in God? No. How about that? Remember that fucking, wasn't that a Columbio sort of thing where the girl's mom just made up a story about her believing in God so hard she got shot for it like a martyr? That was just fake. Which of course it was. How would they know? How would anyone know what happened that day inside? How would her mom know that story? Anyway, I was 100% on Ronnie's side. I was 100% on Joseph Patterson's side. He died of a rare form of ass cancer. I've told this story. So you can look, if you want to look up Joseph Patterson, go ahead. He's been dead for years from his anus. His anus killed him. It ate him out from the inside out. sort of a Kayla Rekieta situation.
I'm about to bust.
If I'm honest with you. You know, I made good with all those kids, okay? I was a friend of everybody, just in case. The black kids, by the way. You know, we had a few. I'd seen them. If you can only see them in the corner of your eye. But I would go up to, I'd be like, yeah, homie, definitely, yes, all of this. I learned how to do all the hands stuff. So that way, in case, just in case. Mostly they didn't even go to school. There was little to worry about there, but
he had to give her the small business.
He had to put the kicks.
Oh, anyway, the point was, so the narrative was that he stole Ape away. Meanwhile, we've all known that Kayla and Aaron actually did start like a romantic. They thought they were, what was it? Their soulmates or something? Wasn't that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
One of the things that leaked. It turns out April's just a coke whore. She's not a regular whore. I mean, she's sort of a regular whore. They're all sort of a regular whore, but she's just a coke whore. So you're going to notice in some of these text messages, there's the inference of like, oh, they're going to the bathroom together. And because of the context of the rest of this show, you're going to go, oh, they're fucking in the bath. No, that's where the coke safe is. You think his coke dick was working? They're just snorting. Look at his fucking nose. They're just going in there to snort. She's a coke whore. While that's happening, Aaron and Kayla are bonding. He actually became the new father to Nick's children. He's making them Easy Mac, feeding it to him with a butter knife in the kitchen. They're wearing the same clothes for the past 16 days. Dirty. They look like that kid from Breaking Bad whose dad got his head bashed in by an ATM. Just wearing underwear and an oversized t-shirt. I don't got no food. All of a sudden they start talking like that. One of them's just highly addicted at this point. That kid actually goes into the bathroom with Auntie Ape and Nick. He became Uncle Nick at that point. Aaron was the real dad. So anyway, we've all known that was true. We've all heard the narrative for so long about Nick stealing Ape because he's, again, living out his Dick Masterson fantasy. We know what the truth is on that, by the way, around here, too. The point in all of this is there was never apparently a time, and they're now admitting this accidentally. They don't realize what they're saying. They think that because they're saying, like, oh, Aaron was getting hard off the idea of April fucking another guy, that washes away this next part. We already know that. You guys are fucking sex freaks. Like, that's built in. That's baked in to everything that we talk about with both of these losers. So, just to be clear, we can go ahead and throw that part out because the next part of the logic there is Aaron is still fucking April. Deep into this, they were up until Aaron left, even while he was falling for Kayla, he's fucking her until she becomes such a coke whore that she's too busy in the bathroom for him. That's it. There ain't no sex happening in the bathroom. You think for an instant that Nick's going to allow, a queef to get into his stash and ruin it? It'd be like that stock footage of a fox decomposing. The coke would just...
Kids would be pissed. That's their coke.
Yeah, and also he'd get his kneecaps broken by his 9-year-old. So do you know what they had to do to coyote that shit in? That 9-year-old. That 9-year-old's been through some shit, man. That kid's got a 1,000-yard stare.
Stand down.
So the final piece of
sexual maniacs, they say in the chat room. Yes.
Context, it's not contained in these text messages, but it wasn't just how he would start or initiate sex with April. He started to have trouble finishing with April. And
yeah, I would imagine. One, her pretty tits are covered in your cum.
The way he solved this was to...
So which is it? Is it hot for him or hard for him? All you're saying is at a certain point, Aaron woke up and realized, holy shit, I'm fucking gay.
I'm getting divorced and April's dead or April's not in the house. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, no duh.
Ask her mid-sex about...
By the way, do not clip me out of context saying, holy shit, I'm fucking gay. I did it in a voice. Nobody's going to believe it's true. I have jester's privilege anyway.
Sex with me. And
I apparently have... I have privileges I didn't even know I had. After that last episode is somehow still on YouTube, I don't know what's going on anymore. I've been granted things.
He would insta-cum every single...
I'm starting to think that I could get away with having a polycule, and no one would ever make fun of me for it. That is one thing that Nick does have. Nick has Cumguys privilege. He's a card-carrying member. He's just allowed to tell people, yeah, I'm gay. What of it? And then they go, good. Here's money. Tell me about it. Are you a top or a bottom?
Time.
Wow. I don't even have words. Rocco's, sorry, Tukey's choked up. I'm dying.
You
He's
opened
made
the
of cum.
You did this. This was your question
Yes.
that led us here.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I have these powers. I don't know.
Okay, at Misery Clips, you probably could have clipped it off before that last part there. So, okay, this is just setting the scene. We're just getting started on this. And remember, we're building up to a big finish, one that you've never seen before. Something so insane, it's going to blow you away.
Is this a cult if I ever heard one? Yes, it is. It's a cult. I mean, it's the cult of cults.
By the way, if you want to call into the show, podawful.com/cult, join our Discord and jump in the call-in channel. We'll drag you on air. If you got any sort of input you want to put on this, because I'm going to forget stuff here. My whole weekend has been spent, I spent all of Mother's Day thinking about these men's cum. That's not true, by the way. In reality, what happened is we watched Mersh, steal this and cover it. And then I forgot entirely everything. And then I spent all day today trying to last second. I realized today, oh shit, Mersh took down his episode out of fear of getting DMCA'd. And so I was in a panic because I wanted to play you the Mersh stuff. Guess what? We've got it. No big deal. I've got everything. It's going to be a great one. Again, call in channel, podawful.com/cult. Join the Discord and we'll drag you in. Here's another clip. Again, at Misery Clips on Twitter.
All right, here we go. This is crazy. This backs
Oh,
up.
this one's crazy. This is about to be the craziest, most insanest show!
Except the hacking.
Isn't Kano Casino live right now? They're probably doing this exact thing as well. Except they're also talking. Somebody told me before the show, they're like, Jesse, I don't want to know about this. Which in fair, I was like, that's fair. To be honest, that's fair. But they're like, can you switch gears and just do a Ralph episode instead? Ralph's got so much crazy stuff going on. Pump the brakes real quick. I feel like I've traveled in a time machine because I don't think it's exactly riveting, amazing, hilarious new information that Ethan Ralph went on a trip in a foreign country, had sex with a hooker, got beat up, and lost his phone. That's kind of de rigueur for Ethan Ralph. So I don't know that we need to cover that one. I'm a little bored by it myself. Although Ethan was watching Pod Awful today. He was watching my amazing Yee performance from the last episode. And there was this funny bit where he goes, how the fuck is this on YouTube? I hate YouTube. It was really good.
All right, here we go. This is crazy. This backs up the hacking.
Man, I feel like I haven't been honest with you about something. And it's how fucking often he needed to ask me how your big cock felt pushing into me and how he bet it fit perfectly inside me, even though it was a stretch.
Oh, Jesus!
It is a bit of a stretch. That's far-fetched, as a matter of fact.
Cuck.
Wow, that's that's kind of interesting information. Apparently, and I didn't know this before, Ape has a really tiny baby pussy.
What?
I mean, I have to assume, because otherwise, listen, Nick's a tall guy. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure, but come on, a stretch. You were stretched out. Is this what girls are even like? A girl sitting there flicking her bean to the idea that she's just ruined. Blah! She just walks into the Coke bathroom. The queef comes out. It's a gaseous cloud that destroys all of the evidence. Not all of it. Unfortunately for the cops have it. We got to get that body cam footage, by the way. Oh my God. I would kill for that body cam footage. I really would. Just to see those dirty kids standing there holding a spoon with peanut butter on it, missing teeth. Damn. But yeah, oh God, I was so stretched out. My pussy's basically useless now. Now, it's pretty obvious what's going on here, by the way. Like, this is At this point, I believe, and I'm not sure, maybe they said this, maybe they didn't in Hackamania. Please, also, I should say this to set the scene here a little bit. This is Nobody Likes Onions part. They did several days, but this is their part of Hackamania. But other shows did this as well. Again, the biggest problem with Dick and Vito. Who are these podcasts? Maybe some other ones. I don't know what anything else is, so I don't know what the other ones were. But they did several nights, several different shows, just to be clear for those who don't understand. Anyway, Ape's sitting there. She's imagining her own blown out, useless fucking pussy. And it's very clear. I don't know if they said this or not. I'm pretty sure at this point, Aaron is no longer part of the quadruple. And so this is basically just a guy cheating on his wife at this point. Because I think, this has never been publicly stated that I'm aware of. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I think after all this went down, and particularly after the arrest, there was kind of a, Kayla probably set the tone and said, no more, we're done. You're not allowed to see Ape anymore. And then we know Ape was still around. We know that kept happening. And now there's this thing going on. Somebody wanted me to play a clip of it. I'm not going to do that. But someone tricked Aaron into reading an address in a super chat. And Nick. They tricked Nick into reading an address in a super chat. And Nick did it. Nick is the guy who thinks he's so smart. He's a Mr. Intelligence, super genius. And he's so smart, he thought he could beat drugs. He thought he had outwitted cocaine, all right? Which is something that really needs to be remembered in all of this forever. He had a system. The way Mersh has a system with gambling, Nick had a system with drugs. The system, by the way, is, I'm smart, I'm allowed to do it. The end. And there was no other thought process. If I just keep doing more, I'm the same as I was before. So he had outwitted drugs. He's a really, really intelligent guy. Nick thought he could fool everybody into thinking that he and April were no longer together. Then she appears on via Zoom for court, and it's clearly Nick's background. Remember, it's got the fucking Joker painting in the back, which just no. Okay, listen. Pro tip: don't show up to court with the Joker anywhere in tow. Don't have the Joker. Don't wear a Joker t-shirt. Certainly not the paint if you can help it. Some of you can't help it, but if you can help it, and don't have a giant mural to the Joker behind you. So everybody knew they were still together. So he got tricked into reading the super chat, and his way of trying to Mr. Intelligence his way out of it was to just read it and read off the full address. And this address seems to be wherever they've stuffed April now. Now, I've got my own theories on this, okay? He reads the entire address, and then he goes, that's someone's address. I don't know who. And then he pretends to look up the address. He does this. And then I'm typing. And then he goes, I think I kind of know where that is. Which, the address, it's one of those weird addresses where the road is State Highway 92. Or nobody knows where any of those roads are. You don't know where that is. That's a weird name for a road. You can't picture that in your mind. There's no cross street for you to go off of. So for you to even say that, it's already some skepticism on what's going on here. My theory is that Kayla thinks or was told Nick, no more Ape. Ape's got to be out. It's me or nothing. If we're going to make this work, if we're going to keep this family together, there can't be an Ape in the picture. And Nick goes, okay, I'll move her out of our second house. And then I think he bought her an apartment or a house or something, or a small place to live, is renting something for her, and then stuffed her away there, and then goes there to fuck her and keeps that on the DL. And probably Kayla knows, but then he had to read the address off to seem because if he hadn't read it, that's boom, bingo, confirmation. We got him. That 100% he knows what that address is. It was just a random address otherwise. So his way of getting out of it was like, I'll read it entirely, which then just gives it out to even more people. It's worse by a million. And then he looks it up and goes, I don't know who would even live there. Now there has been leaked a story, and this comes from the Nobody Likes Onions Discord. This comes from New Zealand Scott, by the way, their version of Scott. And here's the thing. I know for a fact they use the NLO Discord all the time to purposefully leak stuff that they want people to think is true. This is it's the same troll over and over again. And because the Dabbleverse are all 50-year-old plus women, they believe it. It's all just like these ugly old drama women or boomer radio guys. So they think, well, nobody can lie. You're not allowed to lie on the internet. It's in a Discord. It must be true. And New Zealand.
She's on her period.
She's on her period. God, imagine the whale, the tramp stamp on the bitch that yelled that out. Okay. The bad fry job, bleach job she's got going on. She's been 40 pounds overweight her entire career of being a dumb whore, and she's still got the entire muffin top out on display all the time. She didn't show up in Vegas for Hackamania. She was already there. That's the woman yelling out. And that's everybody. All of the women who are into this stuff, that's all of them. And they're very jealous of Ape. That's another thing going on too. They're very, very, they want to be Ape. It's very strange. Anyway, so New Zealand Moody, or what's his name? Moody? Is Moody? I always get this wrong. Moody. Yes, Moody. His name is Moody. Mahmood, right? So Moody, that's New Zealand Scott. Moody puts a thing up there saying, oh, yeah, so I talked to Nick, and it turns out he hasn't seen April ever before. He doesn't even know her. And he's like, the last time he saw her was in January. Jesus Christ, that was tough. January. And apparently he happened to drive up next to her in a car and recognized her. And her boyfriend was in the passenger seat, and he gave Nick the old high one. You know, he flicked him off. This is a real story that Nick is trying to pass off as being true, that he just happened to pull up next to April at a red light, and she's got a new guy, and the guy's like, fuck you. Which, like, why would if the guy even knows about Nick and is still with April, you are so gay and disgusting. It's unbelievable. You might as well be licking Nick's slime off of her pretty titty because, and I guess, it's a small town. Try that in a small town. It's a small town, so I guess you would know. This is in a one-horse town. When the horse becomes part of your quadruple, that horse has to move to a new town afterward because nobody should be wanting to ride it anymore. The saddle's been beat in. There's a blood stain on it. It's from her period. It's time to skedaddle out of town. Okay, you got to find a new cowboy in Wyoming or something. You got to get out of there. So, anyway, this is obviously a fake story. This is obviously a planted story. It's either Moody planting it purposefully, they're all colluding on this, or Nick just fed him this fake story knowing that Moody would leak it. And again, this happened back in January. We're just now hearing about it. Sure, fine. But it's just my theory, but I'm also right. I'm also 100% factually knowledgeable about this. Take me to court. You can't do it, can you? Because you're not a real fucking lawyer, are you?
I made a shitload of really, really bad decisions.
So Nick has never tried a case. Fake lawyer. Take me to court on that one. I won't show up. Now what? Oh, a default judgment? Did you know you can just ignore it? I don't know why Aaron doesn't just say, Kayla Rekieta, my fucking cum dumpster every single day on his show. He ought to be going, yeah, I showed her tits and I'd fucking do it again. In fact, here they are. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Just run away. Are they going to catch you? The first time they tried to arrest Aaron, he was like in the woods. Remember that? We thought it was a family annihilation situation. He just ran to the woods. Just run to the woods. They don't come for you, apparently. And then you're friends with the judge. Now you pay $50. You go, I won't do it again, guys. And then you give a big wink to camera and everybody laughs and you freeze in place and the credits roll. Another win for the toe. It's another one in the books. So anyway, this is obviously a fake story. Aaron's still fucking ape. Not Aaron. Nick's still, they're the same guy in my head. They really are. People give me shit because they think I'm on Aaron's side, but obviously these are both mutant freaks to me, and I literally can't remember which one's which half the time. So, just to be clear, but still, when I come asking you for questions, Aaron, answer me always and take my advice always. We'll be coming to that in just a minute, and then a big finish. We got a big finish for you, a climax like you've never climaxed before. So, I believe this is all a fake thing, and Nick is still fucking ape. He's paying. How on earth would she get back on her feet again? Imagine that. It's not in the same town. Not possible. The only way, and this is why it's kind of believable, the only way a girl like that survives is by, she's a barnacle. She's got to go from guy to guy, just latch on and ride the wave. And so, yeah, it does seem realistic that she found some new guy who's willing to go, yeah, I'll lick another guy's cum. I get pussy? Yeah, whatever. I'll do anything. Bustin' makes me feel good. So, it's believable, but the part that's not believable is that she's got her own place that she's paying for, which is also part of this supposed story, that she's like totally on her feet again. She's doing great. Everything's good. And then, like, what are the chances? He pulls up next to them in a red light. This is like such a fake, fucking obvious bullshit, Dick Masterson style story. Only Nick Rekieta could have made up a stupid lie like this. You're dumb. You're dumb if you believe it. And again, Nick thinks he's smarter than drugs. That's all you need to know. He was dumb enough to read the address because he's smarter than Earth. In his mind, he is Professor X. Okay? And I hope he goes just as bald.
Cock. Oh, God. One more time with that one?
Man.
They're chanting cuck. And again, look at little Nick. Look at little Nick in his little cuck seat. That's kind of mean to chant cuck right in front of this.
Like, I haven't been honest with you about something, and it's how fucking often he needed to ask me how your big cock felt pushing into me and how he bet it fit perfectly inside me, even though it was a stretch.
Do we find out about how often he asks?
Yeah. You know what else is a stretch? That she's on her feet again. And those are some big feet. Somebody says April is dumb if she is paying her own rent. Yeah, I agree with that, actually. April is dumb if she's paying. Because she doesn't have. Nick will do it. This is the other thing, too, is Nick is still infatuated with Ape. Aaron's not. Aaron did move on. And the entire point of this whole Hackamania thing is they're trying to pull this like, oh, look, Aaron didn't move on. But the whole letter that they're going to get to, this whole big reveal they're going to do, is from a year ago. And so the big thing is that he wanted to save his marriage. Trust me, it was not worth saving at that point and was an impossible task. But that's not a crazy thing for a guy to think.
Yes, no? Yes, we
can. So after...
Okay, this is where somebody needs to start asking questions to Nick here. Nick replies to her about being stretched and about Aaron wanting to know more. And he says, how often was it? Which, by the way, oddly cropped. What the fuck is going on with that? What was the rest of that message? That's not what a bubble looks like in a text on any phone I've ever seen before. How often was it? I'm sorry, but can you even read that sentence without picturing? That was just his kid, by the way.
How often was it?
Hold on, Carl. Go ahead.
You gotta fucking ask that question.
So after he would read Kiwi Farms about you, what kind of porn did he go and watch after that?
Every single time it was cuck.
It's a Planet of the Ape. Yeah.
Porn.
Wow. I wonder why.
Has Jesse talked about the puppy? Don't worry, Bragg. We've addressed the puppy. Okay.
Cuck porn.
I'm trying my hardest to ignore the puppet. Because then this is just going to become a puppet show. We're going to talk puppet all day, every day. Again, if there's anything I'm not addressing, you're welcome to call in. PODAWFUL.com/cult, the Discord. Join the call-in channel. We're willing to hear from you. You, the viewer. I know Black Greg was in there a little while ago. I don't know. He must have had something he wanted to add. He can jump back in.
Come on, Nick.
How often was it?
Glad
How
we
often
waited
was
for that
it?
one.
I could have
So
just done that.
often-
Good question.
How often was it? Is it like they have him read it so monotone too? How often was it? Like that's a normal thing to ask. If you told me that a guy was having thoughts about me while coming, I wouldn't. My follow-up question wouldn't be like, "Oh, really? Does he jack off a lot to me? Can you tell me more?" I would close the laptop at that point. You know?
This is interesting.
And this is a very strange sentence for April to say. Listen to this.
I have an insider scoop on his sex/porn fantasies and a theory.
You have an insider scoop. I think Aaron had an insider scoop on you. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know he didn't stretch you out or anything, but you're an insider because he was inside her. That doesn't make any sense to say. This is a very strange message.
I've never talked about it before, so I'll have to tell you sometime.
And also, like, I think we all can do the math on the sex porn fantasies. He's into cuck swinger shit.
He's fucking gay.
Yeah! Nick, you can't say that. He's fucking gay. Yeah, for you.
Nick Rekieta and I are fucking each other. I suck fucking cock all the time.
I'll summarize the conversation. He's fucking gay, and he misses me.
How often does he miss me? How often?
Yes,
Can we ask a question?
Yes.
Does April know that you're sharing these texts, or do you?
April gave me permission to share this story a long time ago.
Thank you, April. Thank you, April.
And again, we believe all women. Just to be clear, we 100% believe when a woman gives permission to share these out of character, odd things to say about a guy that she was once with and now hates and got arrested because of, we believe everything she has to say about that guy when she gives full permission to do a show about it.
Hey, April, when you come on this little piggy, make sure it's on my channel that week.
So this is like, it's sort of like it recasts the cum eating from being like the cucking to he just really wanted to eat cum. Like it wasn't about being a cuck.
Like a vampire.
They haven't even gotten to the cum eating yet. Again, I played that for you. I played this out of order. They haven't even gotten there. It's all on their mind. All they can think about is, let's get back to the cum eating. We got to talk cum eating.
Cannot explain it. Like I have theories about why, but he just walked up, looked her in the eyes, smiled, and started licking.
So April was the middleman in the situation. Like
he's got theories.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that clip. Now let's go. I think this is the cum eating one again. Okay, we'll just do that one for good measure, so we remember where we're at during all of this. This is the big moment here.
I'm smiling a broad smile. I can still see my sexy body splayed out on your bed, my chest.
You don't get to choose, by the way, if it's a sexy body or not. You can still see it. So Nick is such a cum guy. He's got the mirror above his bed. What do you mean you can still see it? You guys, were they recording this shit? Aaron, you have a chance here. Now listen, for $50, which I think we can crowdfund. Guys, we've got a new goal, okay? Let's get the goal. I think we can get $50 in here and make something really funny happen.
Covered in your cum, going down between my pretty tits. I can see him climb on top of me, not to fuck me, but to lick me clean. Maybe I wanted to
Okay. Let me let it play. Hang on.
see him climb on top of me, not to fuck me, but to lick me clean. Maybe I wanted to save that for later. But you taste like heaven. I couldn't blame him.
Jesus.
Now I'm gonna, ladies and gentlemen, we have Australian Moody here. Scott is with us.
No, I'm the original, the better Scott.
Okay,
that's lesser Scott.
Did you just tune in, or have you seen what's going on?
I've seen part of what's going on. I've probably watched the last 20 minutes or so, but I just wanted to come in as a man that is engaging in coitus with another man's lady currently. I wanted to give my perspective.
All right, yeah. So just wait, hang on for the audience, because not everybody knows this, Scott. Scott is in a swinger cuck relationship, just like Nick Rekieta, where he is.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify.
Well, I'm clarifying. Hang on, let me finish.
No, I feel like you're manipulating people's opinions on the situation.
Just to be fully clear, so Scott, and you have kids too, by the way, just like Nick.
I do.
But just to be clear, you're in a married cuck relationship with a woman where sex is being had with the lady, and it's a swinger / cheating / cuck style relationship. You know this sort of world intimately.
Right. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it a lot. And
I bet you have.
I've been thinking about it a lot. And I think the difference between what I think is
hang on a second.
Their minds.
Scott, sorry, hang on a second. In the chat room, they say, "What a loser" about you.
Okay, sure. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, loser, sure.
They're saying don't brag. They say don't brag, freak. They're calling you a freak for being in. Well, you're in a cuck relationship.
I'm not in a cuck relationship. There's a difference, okay? Mine is the traditional sense.
Hang on, just to be clear, is a guy getting cucked in this relationship?
Well, no.
What? Hang on a second.
Because he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Well, that's still a cuckening.
But if he, so I've honestly been thinking about it, because I think traditionally cheating is the other person doesn't know about it. And I think this modern take on cheating is, well, if everyone knows about it, then it's all fine. I think we need to get back to the traditional sense of the person that's getting cheated on doesn't know about it. That's the real way to do this whole thing.
So you're saying bring back cheating instead of cuck? I don't think.
Correct. Yes. Bring back traditional cheating.
Number one, I'm sure cheating is still on the books in most cases. In fact, I would argue that they have managed to keep cucking safe, rare, and legal. Okay, so I don't think this is what's happening all the time. I don't think they replaced one with the other. Is what I'm
see. I disagree. I think the modern take on cheating is now cucking, getting open and free about knowing what's going on, and because that's just the modern way, like feelings and shit like that.
I'm laughing at Ray in chat because he said you're committing a home recce. Oh yeah, 100%. I'm doing a home recce. Oh, hang on, walkabout. Not a home recce.
Can I say
no?
A potential home recce. A potential home recce. It's neither. It's a Schrodinger's home recce.
I'm gonna tell the truth because there's a lot of people who just took what I was saying as a joke at face value. So people are all on the same page here. Scott is the not the cuck in the scenario. Scott is with a woman who is cheating on her husband with Scott. And you kind of just fell into this. I mean, you're a free and clear man. You're allowed to you're not with anyone.
That's right.
Even though
I'm not with anyone.
Scott does not have a wife. Scott is not with anyone else. And this is, just to be clear, this is the type of woman where you look at her and go, oh, she's cheating. Like for the guy to not
Yeah.
realize he's being cheated on, he's being willfully ignorant. Like you would have to.
He's got his Legos, Jesse.
This woman's covered in tattoos and pierced. She's disgusting. She shouldn't even have kids. In fact,
She's not fat though. That that's the main
but
thing.
she's
I just
not.
wanna
She's
point
also
out.
not good look. Like you shared. Scott did some $50 sharing with us, and she's really not looking too fit either. She's kind of.
She's had a life.
Beat.
you
She's
know,
beat.
She's had a
She's
life.
beat. She's beat. You would
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Your
beat by
girlfriend.
me.
Your girlfriend is beat. Your girlfriend, the guy's wife, is beat.
Yeah. Yeah. She's had a
Okay.
life. Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know that I would call it a life. I would call it. She definitely hasn't had a wife, as in being one.
But see, okay, being the person in my situation is really ideal. You don't have
Well,
to
of
deal
all
with
the options in that scenario, yes, I would say it's not ideal to ever do this. Period. And again, with your particular girl, I don't even understand the point. But like it's rare for it would be rare for me to compliment you, Scott, and I'm technically
Thank
going.
you.
I'm technically going to do that right now. You said thank you. I haven't even said it yet. But
No.
oh, okay. You're one of the gayest guys I know, which is a good thing. It's a compliment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No,
Thank you.
what I was going to say is you could do better. You listen, you're no prize, obviously. You're a strange man. You're big, not where it counts, but you look like Moody, and you have an off-putting personality, and you've probably done horrible, unspeakable. I know for a fact you've done horrible, unspeakable things. So you're no catch, but even you could do better than what you're currently working with.
But that requires effort, Jesse. And this and what I feel is that this bitch just lets me put cum inside her, and then she goes back to her husband and lives her life, and I don't have to speak to her outside of that.
Now,
and if she doesn't go by those terms now, I can fuck her shit up. So that's the beauty.
That's
of
what
it.
you like about it, is that you can ruin an
It's
entire
power.
you can
It's
ruin
power.
an entire family on a whim. I knew that's what you were getting off on with this. I've
It's
always
the power,
known it.
Jesse.
And I think it's also something about her kids, but I can't prove that one. So, what does she have? A daughter?
She has a daughter.
And you went to the
retarded.
daughter's birthday party, didn't you?
No. It was her birthday
Oh,
party. The daughter wasn't there.
Scott went to the woman's birthday party, and the husband was there. And like at no point was it explained who this random man is showing up to the birthday. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Listen. I think what you're doing is obviously a farce and disgusting. And it's exactly up your alley. It's of course what you would be up to. I just think
I mean, if you had this was probably in my graduation book, the most likely person to ruin a lady's, marriage.
that was
at
your
some point.
superlative.
Yeah, that's right.
I just legitimately think you could, with very little effort, do better than this. I've seen, some of the ladies you pulled with no effort, with maybe even negative effort. Like effort was applied, but it was bad effort. It shouldn't have worked, and it did. This is one of the most beat, this is a rat. You might as well have just pulled a fucking thing out of the sewer. With this
Now
bitch.
she's not okay. Now the way you're describing it is that it makes her sound way worse than what she is. She's not that.
She's what's left over at last call.
Yeah.
Tell the people how.
that's a good
tell the
description.
people how you met her.
No, I just met her through a common interest group, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what was that interest?
Oh,
what
man.
what was that interest, Scott?
It's just a local group of people that hang
Scott,
out, catch up.
You can't pull this on the show
Scott.
because we have to keep it rolling. We got people tuning out just from you.
No,
telling the
I'm
story.
describing it. It's just a common interest group. It's people that like
And
to get,
what was
get
the
together.
interest? What was the interest?
The interest is Why'd you make that hand gesture?
What was the interest? What was it?
No, it's just people that, you know, from my town that just get together.
Scott, we can't dance around this because
it's not like a singles group or anything like that.
Okay, what was it? Just tell me the interest.
That's literally it. It's just a group of people that live in a city that get together sometimes.
Get together and do what?
Nothing. Go to barbecues, go hang out.
How do you even find an interest group that has no interest? That makes no sense.
I don't know. It's the fucking Seinfeld of interest groups. I have no idea.
Admit that
it's not a singles group.
Admit that it's a BDSM
Look, maybe there's
group.
undertones of that, but that's not the.
Admit that it's a swinger BDSM group that you joined without even having a partner to swing with, thus being a creep in this scenario.
Dude, I'm the fun guy in the group.
And didn't you meet up with her? Didn't you meet up? Wait, so there's more going on. You're saying of the group, there's more going on and more of these people?
No.
It's just a group that I meet up with, and I'm the fun
I don't know.
guy.
Sometimes we all go ice skating, and nobody actually goes ice skating.
I'm sure ice is involved. I don't know about skating.
Yeah.
Didn't you meet her at a what do they call it? What's stripping for fat girls called again?
Burlesque. I didn't meet her at burlesque.
Didn't you meet her at a burlesque show? Which is, of course, stripping for fat girls.
So she took me along to burlesque shows, yeah, and she is a burlesque dancer.
Of course she is.
But okay, I understand what you mean by that, because yes, there were a couple of burlesque dancers that were like morbidly obese.
Oh yeah, a couple.
See, I don't understand.
A couple were morbidly obese. The rest were just regular obese.
No. So a couple were morbidly obese, and then the others were like actually, you know, like normal skinny girls. So I think that you don't get to be a little bit fat in burlesque. I think you have to be all the way fat, or just a regular skinny girl,
or look like you're a sword swallower as a woman, which is what the one that. Just to be clear, that's what we're working with here, Scott.
It's basically the Dirk of women. It's like
Scott's
Dirk if she had hair.
Okay, so you're dating your way of saving
dating me.
Your way of saving this is you're dating Dirk.
Yeah,
all right, great.
Yes, basically.
So just to be clear, Scott is with a woman who looks like she eats fire, swallows swords, and gets hung up by the rafters through piercings in her back. And so you're on. I'm sorry. Is the point of all this that you're on Nick Rekieta's side then, or?
No, I'm just suggesting that Nick Rekieta and his cohorts should not discuss. They shouldn't be telling the other person that they're cheating on their wife. Like it shouldn't be. If you're cucking a guy, that should be your joy. Don't share it with the cucky.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how easy it is to become a cum guy. You can just be the audience member of some guy's show, and it turns. Scott used to have a fake wife, okay? And when I say a fake wife, he has the mother of his children who he lived with and gave a ring to and bought a house for.
I never bought her a ring.
That she still lives in. The house that he pays for. He had a wife essentially, but in all but paperwork, he had a wife. And then PODAWFUL comes along, and Scott, all of a sudden, Scott's not just Scott, he's PODAWFUL Scott, and he becomes Mr. Cum. And I apologize for doing this to you. I'm sorry, Scott.
You know what? Thank you for everything you've done for me, Jesse.
That was the song of my people. I'm trying to ward off the evil spirit that did this to you.
That's all right. I was thinking about buying a bus and just moving into the desert.
Buying a bust?
I'm about to bust.
All right. Let me play this again. Let me play this again, because now I forget what point I was about to make.
I'm smiling a broad smile. I can still see my sexy body splayed out on your bed, my chest covered in your cum, going down between my pretty tits. I can see him climb on top of me, not to fuck me, but to lick me clean. Maybe I wanted to save that for later.
Do you think that the guy that you're cheating on, is the wife who's cheating, he's ever licked your cum off of her pretty tits?
No, I don't think so. I suspect that they haven't been really intimate with each other in a long time.
How do you know she's
He's too
not
busy.
fucking other guys too, and you're the one licking cum? Like, this is a cheater, so she's cheating on you too.
I would be tasting cum.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Why do you sound excited?
But I have not. But I have not been tasting cum. So
Well, you don't
that's
know.
I
How do you know that it's not the type of cum you've tasted before? So you're not familiar with the flavor.
I don't know. Doesn't all cum taste the same? Earthquake, doesn't all cum taste the same?
I wouldn't know. I have
Why are you
not.
That's what I was asking. That's what I was asking. Earthquake.
I've never tasted cum. I've never self-tasted. I'm not from Maine. I don't know anything about the flavor. Okay.
Like I feel like I don't know this for a fact, but you know how like chocolate just tastes like chocolate, but some people think that they can taste different types of chocolate.
Yeah.
That's what cum's like. Yeah, it tastes like cum.
So you think cum tastes like chocolate? Well, that explains a lot about you. All right, so let's listen to this again.
But you taste like heaven. I couldn't blame him.
So let's just be clear about this thing here. Scott, read this. Can you see it? Read this to me real quick, because I'm not going to say these words out loud, but you're a cum guy. You can do it.
I'm a broad smile. Oh, sorry. I'm smiling a broad smile. I can still see my sexy body splayed out on your bed, my chest covered in your cum.
Okay, hang on.
Going
All right,
down
all right,
between
all right.
my pretty tits.
Okay. So nobody's brought this up. I can still see blah blah blah. Not the fuck. Is she describing a thing that happened, or is she describing an imagination? This sounds to me like a fantasy. Am I crazy? The problem is, it might not be. Listen, again, I 100% believe that Aaron licked cum. Okay? Can we all, let's just, a round of applause. We all believe.
Yeah.
We believe all women 100%. But without any sort of build up or context to this doesn't sound like a reply to the last thing we read. This sounds like her imagining a scenario that makes her horny, which of course makes sense because this is a fucking four-way going on.
Oh no!
And Candace.
No!
Go ahead.
Candace is in the call, and she might have some.
Yeah, bring Candace in.
Insight
Candace
about
is a
what
sort of
cum tastes like.
Yeah, Candace eats cum. She's a cheater. Hi, Candace. Hey, Candace. You got your.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? You wanted to add something to the cum?
Yeah, I just wanted to verify that it doesn't all taste the same. So.
Okay. And what did Jared's taste like? Did he ever mail you any or?
No.
Okay. What's the best cum you ever ate? What did that taste like?
Kind of like tequila.
Is that what the song is about?
Was that just a Mexican guy? The Mexican guy's cum tastes like tequila.
No.
That was Pee Wee Herman.
That's an alcoholic.
And just to be clear, is your child right next to you right now?
No.
Because it usually is when you're in Discord. So I just want to.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Thank God. So what was the nastiest cum you ever ate? What did that taste like?
I think when it tastes like bleach, that's the worst.
That's what mine always tastes like, according to Scott.
Or like salty and bleach.
Salty bleach. Yeah, that's what I got. I'm working with salty bleach. Mine's actually, my cum is mostly piss.
Mine too.
Okay, so Candace, can you not verify my theory that, you know, it's sort of like just variations on the same taste, right? Is it like chocolate where it just it tastes like chocolate, but then it has like different variations?
I mean, maybe. I think.
Yes,
I knew I was right. Thank you.
I'm just watching the fucking view count go down as this goes on. Just people
You're welcome.
Listen, as much as these guys are all cum guys, they only want to hear about specific guys cum. You know,
they like American cum, not Australian cum.
50 people were like, this isn't Aaron or Nick's cum. I'm out of here. I only swallow Dabbleverse cum.
My suspicion is that Aaron's is very thin and liquidy.
Yeah, that's always been my suspicion too.
Yeah.
I'm under the same suspicions. All right, hang on. All right, let's listen to this.
No! No! No!
Again, this sounds like a fantasy to me.
Man, April is. Goddamn.
Not that he didn't do it.
I think we need to hear her read that one again.
There will be no refunds.
Tuki and Carl have not seen this before.
I know.
So
See this. Holy shit. No.
I'm sorry, April. What was that?
I'm smiling a broad smile. I can still
In chat, they say they don't want to hear from any woman about cum, only men. Yeah, that's why everybody tuned down.
see my sexy body splayed out on your bed, my chest.
Well, see, they got to play it again. They just keep playing. They got to hear that. Oh my gosh. So he's licking guys' cum. Okay.
Covered in your cum, going down between my pretty tits. I can see him climb on top of me, not to fuck me, but to lick
She's on her period.
me clean. Maybe I wanted to save that for later.
Oh, no.
But you taste like heaven. I couldn't blame him.
No. I'm sitting next to the most proud man in
I'm going to blame him, me personally.
the world right now.
Wait, what did he say?
No. I'm sitting next to the most proud man in the world right now.
That's bad. That's maybe the worst thing. Listen, I know pride is a sin, but this might be the worst case of it ever. This is straight to Jewish heaven style sinning. You don't even have to die. They just take you bodily. The ground opens up and red clawed hands come out and drag Nick in.
This is so fucking funny.
That's funny? I'd be horrified.
Maybe.
Don't forget the intro of this show is Nick licking that guy's ear, by the way. Who licks who? Exactly?
Your cum tastes like Celsius.
Again, Aaron went on Kino Casino and told tales out of school he never should have told.
And most of them.
What is happening here then? Is that you're saying like, oh, this is payback? This is the same thing. This is the same thing. This might be worse.
Are far, far exaggerated.
Wow.
Aaron's tales were mostly like, yeah, I shouldn't have done coke, and boy, that shit I got up to was pretty gay. And you guys are all high-fiving that a guy got his cum licked.
The conversation
by a guy.
By a guy. Specifically by a guy. Obviously, we'd all be high-fiving if it was a lady. Oh, here's the other thing. Now, again, I believe all women. I don't mean to break this down too hard. However, what am I to believe here? That April got cummed on and then she nakedly, carefully walked with her pretty tits past the kids who were standing there, wearing a dumped in diaper with dirt marks across their face, like literal hash marks across their face. Pigpen style with flies buzzing around them. And she's got the cum running down her face and chest going, sorry, kids, you see nothing. And then that was her snorting off of one of the kids' heads. And then she walks over to Aaron and Aaron's like, ha ha, looks like I get to eat now, children. What am I supposed to believe here? She saved the cum on her body? Mechanically, explain to me how this works. The people who have believed this and known about this, rumor going around for so long. Explain to me how this happened physically in our normal, natural reality. I
believe that she got the cum all over her chest and her face, and then she slid on her back. She sort of did a backstroke across the room. Into the hallway, then use the hallway and the walls.
It certainly wasn't a breaststroke. I'll tell you. I don't care how pretty they are. I mean, legitimately, this is like nonsense. This doesn't make sense. I know they're all living in the same house. Blah blah blah. I'm sure they had a room or something. They're in and out of the bathroom constantly. They're all sharing a bed or whatever. Like, why does Nick need to be told about it then? Why does Nick would have witnessed this with his own eyes? She's saying,
this is strumming.
She's saying
Did they say whether it was still wet
saying
cum,
this,
or was it dried up?
Well, so maybe he's just rehydrating it. I'm doing you a favor. Fuck, man. I don't even want. You know what? You're right to tune out. More people are tuning out. I agree with you. This is too much. How do you explain? I honestly, though, the people that did tune out just now, they tuned out because they're mad at that I'm poking holes in the cum story. They're like, nope, sorry, you're ruining my fantasy. I'll tune into Rekieta instead. So is he still alive? It just doesn't make sense. And the implication here is that this is a conversation happening after the fact. They're talking after Aaron's no longer around. So Nick never witnessed this. It never happened in front of him. He had no idea of it. Again,
and so TVA Dan gives a perfect explanation that we probably didn't. We overlooked. Right. So apparently he was Nick was showering. Sorry, Aaron was showering after sex, and then Nick came into the room, so she was just lying there.
No, he's saying that Nick was showering after sex. Aaron came in. It's not that unrealistic. The unrealistic part is, if this is happening all the time, how did Nick not know about it until months after the entire thing was over? Why is he finding out about it post the entire ordeal? This is after the arrest. Does everybody understand the timeline here? I think this is what again, this is a guy who's like, he needs it to be true. And again, I'm saying it is true. Do not take the wrong message from this. Aaron eats cum, okay? Are we all good now? Aaron eats cum. He eats Nick's cum. He eats any guy's cum. You could fucking wheelchair Johnny.
Case chocolate.
Life. His mom told him life's like a box of chocolates, and he went, "I'm gonna taste every fucking flavor then." And wheelchair Johnny will blow a load, and Aaron's like, "Well, I got that for you, buddy. You don't have legs. Let me." So, just to be clear, he eats cum. I'm saying this scenario. How does Nick not know until after it's all over? Because that's when
why doesn't he come in from? He doesn't come back in from the shower and go, "Hey, where's all my cum?" Like,
maybe
look how bad they need. This is some Dabbleverse retard. He goes, "You don't even know the basics of what happened. How are you acting like things aren't adding up, Jesse? You don't know what happened. How do you know it did? I'm saying Aaron eats cum. I'm saying he eats Nick's cum. I'm saying he eats Patrick Melton's cum. I don't care. If Patrick Melton mails him an envelope filled with nothing but cum, Aaron will open it up and like a fucking, Lunds and Byerly's coleslaw, he'll slurp it down on air. Fine. I'm fine with that. I believe all women. The part that makes no sense, and if you can't fucking understand this, then the problem is you're stupid. The problem is that Nick didn't know about this and is finding out months later after it why didn't it come up ever before that? Why, if
I'd
it's
be willing
happening,
to bet there's a video.
If it's happening in front, there supposedly Nick and April began, he stole Ape. She never said this. In the time where Aaron was going on air and slowly revealing this while they were still together, while Ape and Nick were still in the same house together, it never comes up. Why is this happening in a text message at all? She lives with him.
Yeah.
They live together. Make it make sense. Instead of getting mad at my hole poking, fill that hole. You want these holes filled, baby. You want it so bad. Fill them. Do it. Listen, we're building to the big climax here, okay? I'm on your side. I'm just asking questions. There's a part here, and by the way, you should be receptive and open to this. You should enjoy the fact that all I'm saying is, I think this is Ape having a gay fantasy in order to make Nick horny. Now everyone's gay. Now all the lol cows suck, and all the lol cows are cum eating F Burgermeisters, okay? And we all get to laugh and have fun. Because you have to admit that the text message makes no sense. It doesn't sound like a continuation of what we've been talking about. It doesn't make physical property sense. It makes no sense that Nick wouldn't already know this. It makes no sense for her to just suddenly tell him this after the fact. Unless you have an explanation for all of these things, then yes, Aaron eats cum, but Nick is also a gay guy jacking his dick off to sext messages with his concubine, and the thing he gets off to is the idea of the man eating him. Okay? And listen, there's no hierarchy in this scenario. Guy eating cum, guy getting his cum eaten by guy. Both gay guys. Is one of them gayer? Yes. If this was a would you rather scenario, we all know which
Spectrum
one
of gayness.
We all know which one we're picking. Don't get me wrong. That's the only point I'm making. Okay, what are they saying in chat? Is everybody still mad at me for this? I knew this was going to be controversial. PODAWFUL was just choking his chicken live on the Piazza Fun. What?
So Nick is the guy that's getting sucked in Lemon Party.
Yeah, maybe it was an Asian guy the whole time. We couldn't even tell. And again, you're talking about a guy who's like friends with a puppet. So who's the gay guy here, honestly, when you really think about it? I thought that was obvious, to be honest. It's a story for Nick, says enter a name. Right. I can't be the only guy who read that and went, wait a second. This seems oddly suspicious. Now, I'm willing to also believe this. How about this? This is how fair I'm going to be, okay? I'm willing to litigate this one. Nick, perhaps what happened is April said this stuff thinking it would turn you on because you're such a sex-brained cum freak that she thought this was like right up your goddamn alley, which I believe is somewhere located back here. And you didn't even realize it. This whole time, you thought she was sharing silly things with you, funny stuff to share, and you didn't know it. Maybe he had no idea. It's possible. It's possible. But she still, to be clear, in that scenario, the woman he was having sex with thinks he's a gay guy. Okay, that's still pretty fucked up as well. You're just mad Rekieta stole your friend's wife. I don't have a friend that's a gay guy. I don't, and they stole each other's wives. They're all freaks. Honestly, the wives get off too easy on all of this. Kayla Rekieta is a cross-eyed gremlin loser. She might be the biggest loser in all of this, to be honest. See, here's the thing we don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there can tell me. Maybe this knowledge is out there. It seems to me that Nick is obviously a horrific drug addict. You can just tell looking at him. He's now claiming he's on narcolepsy medicine. I have narcolepsy. Oh, yeah? Emphasis on narc. It seems to me that April just became a coke head. She was a coke whore. Seems to me that to some degree that must have been true for Aaron as well. What's going on with Kayla? How did she get wrapped up in all this? Now, we know she's already being used and abused. Rekieta was sending her off to hedonism, too, to get fucked by Jamaicans. Okay? She's a prop. This is a mother. This is a mother of 5 children. You know how big of a fucking freak-ass loser you have to be the woman in this scenario and give the green light? You expect this from guys. This isn't even, you don't bat an eye when you find out that some dude is into freaky shit and you assume that his wife is like, no, I'm being cheated on. This might have been her idea. And we all remember Drexel. Was that his name? Drexel. Yeah. So when Nick Rekieta did blackface, he was trying to look like his black friend Drexel. We've seen him.
Kayla.
We've seen him on, yes, for Kayla. He was married to Kayla at the time. Everybody knows she fucked him. Everybody knows that little rat fucked Drexel. It was so obvious when they would stream together. That's the person I think is the worst in this entire scenario is Kayla Rekieta. That's why it's such a shame that, you know, the only guy who's going to talk shit about her can't talk about her anymore is because she's fucked up. He wouldn't do it anyway. He's such a fucking wimp puss. He's a simp for her. Aaron would never even do it anyway if he was legally allowed to. But she's the most fucked up one. When everybody's like, oh, Nick wasn't feeding his kids. Well, neither was she. She's the mom. That's her job. It's your job to give the food to the child. That's like your only job. She's a stay-at-home mom. It's not even a job. It's just what you're supposed to do. That's like wiping. Okay? You know, they say being a mom is the toughest job in the world. Oh, yeah? What about wiping your own ass? That's pretty hard sometimes. Just keeps going. You just keep wiping. It's brown, the paper. You go through a whole roll. You telling me I don't have the hardest job in the world? Tell that to my fucking toilet paper budget. What were you saying, Scott?
You talked me around. I think the men are the victims in all this.
The men are the victims, honestly, and we no longer believe the women.
Yeah.
No, I do. I believe April. I believe April. It just doesn't. I don't understand it with no context. And that's the thing. They're purposefully providing no context. Like, you know, Nick Rekieta said some of the gayest, most fucked up shit ever in this thing. Like, I'm just here to give the other perspective. This isn't the pro Steel Toe perspective where the whole internet's laughing at Steel Toe right now. He's a gay cuck. He eats cum. Yes. Also Nick. That's my only addition here. Also Nick.
Let's go to the stores.
Not only Nick, not instead Nick. Also Nick. It takes two to gay tango.
Can't wait to talk to you about his need to hear about
Okay. Thank you. Here's a perfect example. Listen to this.
The conversation.
Here's the very next thing.
Stores. I can't wait to talk to you about his need to hear about my big cock. Limau.
There's no amount of lamau on earth to save you from that first sentence. You can't wait? Okay, number one, why are you waiting? Just start talking about what's stopping you right now from doing it. Number two, why can't you wait for that? That sounds a lot like, please tell me right now.
Lamau!
A fucking shitty sentence as well,
I
doesn't
can't
it?
wait to talk to you about his need to hear about my big cock. Limau!
I'd rather look into your eyes than anything else in the world, babe. They're like a pretty ocean. Mine even has an island, though.
Okay, see, again, this is gay. I don't even want to hear that. That's so gay. All right, but it actually gets worse for Aaron somehow. I know that doesn't seem possible, but they also did this.
We do have one more photo. I think this is my favorite photo in the whole bunch.
They just showed a bunch of Aaron, again, they're the same guy, of Aaron's private, his intimacies, his intimate images. Look at this.
Hey!
Now, very funny. Awesome. They showed one of him standing in front of the mirror trying to look sultry, his tits out disrespectfully on display in front of all of Congress.
Hold on, you're not seeing it. You're not seeing it correctly.
Yay! Finally, some sexy man time.
This is very funny. Don't get me wrong. This rules. I mean, this is an incredible thing to have out there. Kayla took this.
Yeah.
Who took this photo? Who do you think took this? Aaron didn't set up a timer. This is Nick's bed. He just finished fucking Nick's wife. When I tell you that Nick is getting off on this, and I'm guilty of now being part of it as well, the entire point of the cucking and the swinging is that they get off on other people fucking knowing about it. The
knowing that's the gay part.
The part that degenerates get off on is never the act. It's what happens after. It's the reaction. When you call them a degenerate. Yes, spit in my face, call me bad. That's what's happening right now. This is Nick going, look, this is the guy that fucked my wife. I'm such a fucking loser. Kill me.
Incorrectly.
Yay! Finally, some sexy man time.
Yeah, those are some new thumbnails for Pretty Antisocial. You're welcome.
When I get you
Also, he doesn't look happy that his picture's getting taken here. Maybe somebody has a revenge porn case. I'm sorry.
Does Aaron wear his glasses during sex?
Yes, he never takes them off. He can't. The spider tells him not to. I'm telling you, this is the same thing Aaron did, but a billion times. Aaron showed an intimate photo to one guy who is his friend. They charged admission to see naked, sexy sex pictures of Aaron Imholte, which is already a freakish fucking concept alone. How is this not a revenge porn crime? Now, we're going to skip the rest. You get it. We saw the pictures. We see the cum guy. He's a cum guy. We haven't gotten to the big finish yet, but I told you I talked to Aaron. Black Greg, you had something to add? I just dragged Black Greg in here. You got something to say before I go to this next thing? He can never figure out. He sent me
You got it, bro.
Oh, I see. You sent me I don't want to share this. This is might be a crime for me to share this image. I'm not kidding.
Those supple breasts. I understand.
Listen.
I'll give you the $50.
Greg, all right, give me the $50 and I'll share it. Okay, send me. We're gonna have to hit the goal for me to share this, guys, because this is a crime that's going to cost me. If you want to see Aaron's boobs, here they are, $50, please. How is this not? If you just zoom in right there, that's a trans titty at best. Okay, at worst, I mean. This is, by the way, Nick's bathroom. Obviously, you can tell because there's.
Why does he have a black lady's nipples? What the fuck?
There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of problems happening here. The least of which is look at the fucking fangs on the spider as they make him.
Greg, that's a black lady's nipples. Am I wrong?
Do a sultry face here. Yeah, that is what Greg's mom's nipples look like for sure. He remembers. So this is a guy. Is there true nudity here? No. But I'll tell you what's going on. This is a guy trying to be sexual for his sex group chat. That's where this was sent. This was sent to the sex group chat. So this is an intimate image. It's the same group chat that Kayla's tits were sent to. Okay? Anybody's beans starting to fry on this one? Anybody having the same kinds of thoughts I am about what's going on here? Aaron's got a real case on his fucking hands.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
Support the show. Join the Pizza Fund. PodAwful.pizza.
Pizza.
PodAwful.pizza.
So, again, I believe all women. I 100% believe April and everything she claims about Aaron and all this. But for my journalistic integrity, I had to keep things fair and balanced. I had to reach out to Aaron, and I had to ask him. So a few days ago, when this story was first breaking, I messaged him and I said, just need your statement before we go to press on this. Did you, in fact, lick Nick's cum off of Ape while looking into her eyes, or do you have a different story? We go to press no later than Monday. Okay, I needed him to know that I needed this answer quickly. So he says, no, of course not. Read that text. No date. It was sent after I left. Classic April. Tell someone something they want to hear to get closer to them. She wanted him to leave his family for her. He hates me, so say something complimentary to Nick. That makes me look bad. Which is kind of an interesting point. This does seem like it's easily forgotten, but April was trying to turn Nick into her husband, and she was trying to remove Kayla from the picture. So I said, so you think it was a lie to make Nick horny for her? She did it to me when her and I first got together. Made shit up about exes. Claimed they did things they didn't do so you would like her more. I don't want to drag her too much. Nick already has. But desperate drug addicts with nowhere to turn will say anything. I said, certainly you must have some of Nick's texts. He says, all the embarrassing stuff on him mentions someone I can't discuss. Here's a good hint. Any texts he released with no times or no names are doctored. Now, this is why I believe Ape. I don't, for a single solitary instance, believe that any of those texts are doctored. He's trying to, like, what? They're photoshopped? They're complete. There's nothing real about them just because there's no date. I think the slimy thing is that there's no date and no context. But certainly someone said these things for real, whether they're true or not. And some of those texts are from Aaron. Aaron said some really embarrassing, fucked up shit in some of these messages. Black Greg, you must remember. What did he say about his kids when it comes to April?
He said that he would hate to lose April, but he would be okay losing his kids, basically. Like he would know what to do without this kid, without April.
If he had to choose between losing his kids and losing April, he picks losing his kids, which is absolutely fucked. Obviously, this dude is insane. This dude's insane. This dude's a wreck. I think he responded.
April can just make more kids. I mean, it's like an endless kid factory.
I think
you lose one kid.
He did. Didn't he say something about this today? Like he addressed this issue today. If somebody's got that clip, post it in show discussion and I'll play it. I don't have that ready to go, but I bet you somebody's clipped it. So anyway, this is starting to sound a little silly. So I said, are you going to report them for revenge porn? Now, I truly believe this. I think he should. I'm trying to convince Aaron to move forward. If Kayla gets to do it, he gets to do it back. And this is, again, 1,000 times worse than anything he did. What he did is what every red-blooded man has ever done with a nude that he's been sent. He showed a friend, okay? Just some dumb whore. Hey, check this out. I matched with some girl on Tinder and she showed me her butthole. Every guy's done that. So he says, can't. Nothing sexual about them. Disagree. And by the way, so does Hackamania. So does every attendee at Hackamania. None of the photos are sexual in nature. Plus, I ain't a bitch like that. Appreciate the humor. The man flew on Mother's Day weekend to seethe about the one who got away the day of his daughter's dance recital. Dude. That is fucked up. I mean, that is insane. Obviously, Nick's insane, but Aaron, come on. You're not going to fleece me here on this one. First of all, you are exactly that much of a bitch to do this sort of thing. And number two, the coolest and funniest and best thing Aaron could do is turn the tables on them with this. He could do it to Nick. He could do it to Ape. He could do it to Melton. Why wouldn't you do this? That would be so fucking funny. So I said, they are sexual. I saw your tits. He says, haha, believe it or not, tits are not considered sexual on a man by law. I said, I think you have a real case to set a precedent here. These were private photos intended for sexual partners. Also, it would be really funny to do. He says, haha, oh, for sure. I send everything to my attorney, and I always do what he advises. And then I looked up the revenge porn laws everybody's talking about in Minnesota where he lives. This crime happened in Nevada. This was Las Vegas. So I looked up the Nevada revenge porn laws. Now, it turns out they're essentially almost word for word the same as Minnesota. It says here,
somebody copied someone's homework.
Basically, as legally, although Nevada might have been first, as legally defined in the state of Nevada, what is referred to as revenge porn in this context is the crime that an individual commits with the unlawful dissemination of an intimate image, check so far, when with the intent to harass, harm, or terrorize another person. Absolutely, that's what Hackamania was. The person electronically disseminates, done, or sells, done, In intimate image, I think it means an intimate. Their law is mistyped here. An intimate image, which depicts the other person. This specifically refers to situations in which the following conditions apply. The person depicted in the image was at least 18 years of age at the time the image was created. Check. The person depicted in the image had, at the time the image was captured and in the future, a reasonable expectation that the intimate image would be kept private and would not be made visible to the public. Check. The person depicted in the image did not give their prior consent to the electronic dissemination or sale of the intimate image. Triple check. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got revenge porn.
It doesn't say anything about sexual, it just says intimate.
Says intimate. Now here's where the issue arises.
Most intimate thing I've ever fucking seen.
Here's where the issue arises. We talked at length about this whole revenge porn thing. I said before, I don't think revenge porn is a real crime. I think it straight up is unconstitutional, frankly. And it's what I term a dumb bitch law. And most laws, by the way, that have been drafted ever since the 1960s are dumb bitch laws. Basically, these are laws to prevent women from feeling the consequences of their dumb bitch actions. Now, again, we already went at length about this, so I'm not going to, go over all this bit by bit again. I believe Aaron did nothing wrong when it comes to the quote-unquote revenge porn. However, if it's true for a lady, it should be true for a guy. Now, here's the problem. If you go on to read the law, it explains what an intimate image is. And while one intimate image described is two people engaged in a sexual act, which is definitely not what this image is, the other one says that an image revealing a nipple is an intimate image. However, they specify a female nipple. So obviously, it's sort of a problem here. Now, why do they specify female nipple? Because it's a dumb bitch law. This proves my theory about the dumb bitch law. How many laws even specify, like, why female? And by the way, this law was drafted in a time when they're making new laws about trans people and now birthing persons and womb havers and all this stupid shit. But this one, not so much. So I started thinking about that. I realized, well, what is a woman? Wait a second here. Do you just have to be a dumb bitch? Because luckily for Aaron, he's one of the dumbest bitches I fucking know. So I messaged Aaron. I gave him this info. I said, this is the Nevada law. You have a case. You have the chance to do the funniest thing ever here. All you have to do is claim you are trans and those are women's nipples. And I mean it. And by the way, they could pass easily. They've been calling you Mooby for years now. They've been saying you have women's tits since the first time they saw you on camera, since you hollowed your way out of an apple and earthwormed your way into our hearts. If you've got tits, then those are female nipples. Sorry, that's how it works. He replies, ha 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 ha. He thinks I'm fucking kidding. I'm not. So I said, I'm not kidding though. I think you have a case and I think you should actually do this. They charged admission to see intimate photos of you. He said, like I said, sending it to the lawyer. And he did imply on Twitter the next day that he had spoken to his lawyer and his lawyer is getting involved with something. I said, good, make it happen. I will report on this fair and balanced. Thanks for your input. And he says, you got it. That Kanye cover was incredible, by the way. Anyway, Aaron eats fucking cum. Okay? How do I know? You have to believe when a woman says anything. You have to do it. Here's the big buildup. Here's the big climax they were all waiting for. When Aaron said they've got nothing, Patrick Melton scoffed, laughed, and said, "Oh yeah? Then what do you call this? Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe your fucking eyes. The big board."
Oh, shit.
Oh, it's time. Oh, it's fucking time. Let's effing
Big board looks
go.
great, Colonel.
Thank you. What? It's the wrong fucking screen. Okay, let's see. And the big board is broken. Okay.
So we're
Hang on a second. We can fix this. No problem. There we go. There we go. Don't know what's going on there. Okay. The big board. Take a look at this. So it's a letter that's written in a child's handwriting. Presumably, this looks like a coked up kid. Is this Nick's kid who wrote this? He's faking this letter, I guess. He gets his child to write. No, I don't know what this is, but it says, "I am sorry, April," and he sealed it. This is insane. Send him to prison over this. Aaron has to go to prison. He sealed it with a steel toe sticker. That is so retarded. That is a level of retarded I can't even fucking fathom.
We're going to go through this letter that Nick has so generously provided us.
That nigga so? What?
Yeah, he said niggas. I heard that too. Yep.
Okay.
Of Aaron Imholte and the last thing he ever wrote to April. Here's a picture of the entire letter. He taped her wedding ring to it.
There you go.
He was completely done.
That dumb bitch in the audience goes, "What?" That's pretty good. What? He taped her wedding ring to it.
At this point,
That looks psychotic with that writing.
I know. Remember,
That looks psychotic.
remember he had his board of like top donors, and it revealed how bad his handwriting is. So you can't say this is fake. You can't. We know this is your absolute shitty psycho handwriting. Obviously this is real. Now, we've seen this move before. Dick Masterson. This is, by the way, the finale. This is the last night of Hackamania, last show. Nobody likes onions. It's all been building to this moment, and it's all based around Dick Masterson doing this exact same bit to Maddox, and it killed. It killed. That when they did that bit, that's still that was nuclear goss. Remember that? So this is supposed to be the craziest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life.
This behind at his house. She cleared out the wardrobe and then put this ring down. And after this, he started calling it my wedding ring.
Yeah. I've been a bastard. I've been harsh to you when you needed support. I've guilted and punished you when you've begged for mercy.
That's hot.
Yeah, Nick's sitting there jacking off. He's junking off right now.
What in the hell?
I've broken your spirit just to keep my own world intact.
Somebody says he has the handwriting of a 5-year-old retard. That's inappropriate to say about retards. Okay.
Act.
What the fuck is up with that K in broken? It's like it goes so small.
I'll tell you what happened. He started to spell broken with a C and had to turn it into a K. Yeah.
Broken your spirit just to keep my own world intact.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Is she on her period?
Spiraling. And remember, this is April 2024. In
April?
In December, we learned yesterday, he said he had a barely burning career. And now
I stopped being the man who helped us save each other. I took both of our feelings for granted and didn't.
And obviously, all these things are embarrassing, are gay. And they're also all the types of things you say when you're desperately trying to get your wife back.
Nurture that.
Never. I would never say that.
Well,
I would never admit to this
You
shit.
also never had a wife.
I would
so
die.
Yeah, true.
A little bit different for you.
I lied to keep the wolves from our door. My lies hurt you because it showed I didn't trust you to walk beside me as my partner.
What is this hole in the paper? April shot it. She took it out hunting.
I made sure you sat in the back seat for everything.
Whoa, the cuck truck backseat? This is really getting Dick Masterson-y.
I got mad at you for leaving instead of being mad at myself for being a man that needed to be left. I loved another woman effortlessly and did...
Damn! This is not the way to get her back. Shit. So in his please take me back message, he's like, by the way, I cucked you too, frankly.
Going from...
You were kind of even.
What's worse is I didn't have the balls to just say so. I've been a liar. I've been a monster.
End of letter.
I love.
Okay, now an interesting thing happens here. This is the big finale. He just goes, end of letter, and the crowd doesn't even react. Now, with all of these things, they play it twice.
Another woman.
So now they're playing it again. Watch this.
Effortlessly, and did so in front of you.
Just enjoy it. Sit here.
What's worse is I didn't have the balls to just say so.
Why is that worse?
It shouldn't be.
I've been a liar. I've been a monster.
Aaron Imholte.
Ooh. Should have saved the Cumguys stuff for last, I think. The Cumguy response, a thing everyone already knew about. The Cumguy response was, whoa, what the fuck? This was their nuclear we got him thing. Aaron himself was like, this is not, I don't care. This is nothing. Here's the tepid response. Oh, he made the putt. And now they're realizing.
I think people felt sorry.
Yes.
People felt bad about everything.
They realize this is the end of the show, so they're like, yeah. They're trying to like make up for it. They're remembering they're being streamed right now. They're like, yay.
That is Hackamania. Nobody likes onions. Thank you guys so much for watching this.
Yeah, if you have to announce that it's the end, then you didn't have your mic drop moment. That's this is the most prolonged mic drop of all time. So just in case you didn't understand, this is the end. Clap, please. He just got jebbed.
Show.
There you go. That was the big fucking finish. Unbelievable. I would have saved Cumguy for the end. That's my own critique on that. But hey, listen, I'm sure they had fun. I'm sure everybody had a good time. Let's go to. Greg got me the clip I was looking for.
And there was one. I think that.
Here we go. This is the clip. So again, Aaron said he would prefer to have April over his own children. Here he is.
Joker there.
Here he is addressing that. And you can also see he's in the middle of slurping cum in this sentence.
That one was from December of 2023. So he's going back to 2023.
And
And,
so back when this was happening, that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
It said something like, I think I could stand if I lost my kids. Because this was about...
Don't break it up. Finish the fucking sentence.
I think this was around...
Look at Wheelchair Johnny. He doesn't even know what to do.
I can't get over him because he looks like the Joker right now.
It looks like he's being punched in the face constantly. You know what he looks like here? He looks like Boo from Super Mario. Like he's too shy to look at Mario right now.
I could stand
so he's just a shy
if
guy.
I lost my...
Well, a shy guy is a different Mario enemy. And technically, it's a Doki Doki Panic enemy, if you really want to get real about it.
My kids, because this was about, I think this was around the time Ashley was going for that HRO because she knew April. She suspected April was on something. And I said...
Also, you were also on something.
Something to the effect of, I could handle losing my kids if I had April with me.
No. That's not what he said. He said he would prefer to lose his kids over losing April. Not that he could handle it. He said, given the choice between April's got to go and them kids got to go, my fallen angels got to stay with me. Beat it, suckers. Get out of my fucking house, you retard kids. Every single one of you can write better than me.
Like it was something like it's
yeah, that's a fucking red flag, my friend.
That's a really shitty thing to say.
You want to know how I got these crutches? Says Big Rack. That's funny.
Hey, that's a horrible thing to say. And that if I was still like that, then yeah. Hit me in the fucking head with a shovel, man, because that's some terrible shit.
Oh, gosh, if he was still that guy, the guy from a year ago, less than. Like, when did you send that letter? It had to be, it was April. So it was like a year ago.
Now, luckily,
he's done so much growing since then.
Announced all that. I denounced all of it. I left. And then it clearly didn't bring Nick any peace.
One day, these kids will see this stuff if they haven't already. And honestly, if they haven't already, some hero needs to put this in the hands of their classmates. Okay, these kids, Aaron's kids, Nick's kids, these kids need to be bullied forever about this.
They should hate their parents. They should hate their parents forever.
This is the point.
Absolutely.
It's not to make the kid feel bad. It's so they take that home with them and make the parent feel like shit for being such a gay retard about it. If you imagine you went to school and your biggest bully or whoever comes up to you and is like, your dad's gay and sucks off guy, eats cum, and then you can't fucking argue it. It's not just a kid playing around. They've got proof. They brought receipts. Okay? Look, here's when your dad sent your fake mom her wedding ring back. He eats cum, you're gay.
Your dad has bigger tits than me.
My dad can suck off your dad.
This stuff. Because he was up.
Here's the exact text. Aaron says, if those kids had to go and I still had April, I could make it. If April was gone and the kids were here, I don't know, man. I know angels don't fall to earth. I know what I have. Most people think their children are the angels, not the coke-whore who sucks and fucks other guys.
True.
That's true. Play. What's happening?
I would kill 100 of these bitches that I'm fucking to keep my kids around.
Honestly, your kids and these bitches, I would maybe actually go to the bitches as well. Your kids kind of suck.
In the morning last night on Twitter, again, screeching about me. About how
Tom Gully says, one night the kids will be sniffing the coke in their hair up all night and stumble across it. They have to know. I mean, Nick's oldest kid is what, like 16 or 17 now? They gotta know, man. They've gotta know.
For sure.
But unfortunately, the problem is that every kid doesn't know. Every child on earth needs to be taught this instead of the Holocaust and Civil War in school. They need to be learning about the great Rekieta, Imholte, cuckoldry, saga of 23, 24. Because these kids, it needs to be every fucking minute of their day. Needs to be drilling it into their heads that they have the worst parents on earth. Nick Rekieta and Aaron Imholte and Kayla Rekieta shouldn't be able to escape what they've done. It's so unreal. And of course, the worst part is that they're sharing it. They told. We all knew. Don't get me wrong. We all knew. They confirmed it and keep confirming it and keep digging the hole deeper and profiting off of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fucked. It's so unbelievably fucked in a way that wheelchair Johnny can't comprehend without another good hit of weed. He's really he's really struggling right now. By the way, update the sign, wheelchair Johnny. We're not using that logo anymore. The explosion.
I ruined his life and how I did all these things and I wrecked it and I ruined his life. It's like, bro, A, I'm still not going to fuck you. B,
you already did.
Johnny, let's, for posterity's sake, before he went on stream with coke on his nose, clearly inebriated, and before he got arrested, did I say any of this stuff? Like, before they got arrested and he had coke on his nose, did I say boo?
Johnny's like, I don't pay attention during these shows. I'm high. I've got my own legs to worry about here. He's died. Wheelchair Johnny would kill if his legs could get into a quadruple. Does it mean there'd be two more legs that maybe actually work?
No, actually.
None. Zero.
It was all hush-hush until that shit happened.
And then they got arrested, and you know what I did? I went, this shit's going to come out. All three of them got arrested.
You know what I did? I profited. I ran a train on my children's future the same way Nick Rekieta ran a train on his wife and mine. And I said, you know what's more worth it? than the sanity of children meeting the fucking goal. What is the goal? Where was the goal for the sign? Is that what we were doing the whole time? What was it all building toward? Aaron's got what, like 14,000 subscribers or something? What is it? 13,000 subs. He gets fewer views than me on these streams at this point. Was it all worth it? A year ago, he's sending text messages to Nick saying that he's got a barely burning career. Is that why you made the logo explode? You were trying to get things burning, trying to get things going? Was it all worth it, man? You're so fucking stupid, Aaron. You're so fucking stupid. It's unbelievable. Because here's the thing. We're laughing at, Nick Rekieta thinks he's smarter than drugs. Aaron thinks he's smarter than Nick. You're the same guy. You are permanently, infinitely, inextricably linked to another man's cock. His cum. When people look at you, they see Nick Rekieta's load in your belly. That didn't happen on accident. That didn't happen through a lie. That happened through actions you took and keep taking. You have not outwitted anyone or anything along the way. Okay? Nobody's your friend on this. Nobody's on your side on this. You look fucking stupid. And the 6 or 7 people you've got pumping you up on Twitter or in the chat telling you, oh, well, Nick sucks too. It's like, yes, 2, not toe. Another win for the 2. TOO. You need to learn that word, Aaron. It's both of you. You both did this. You're both fucked up freaks. And of course, I gave him I told him every little thing he could do, everything that would make more sense. I do think he had to, at a certain point, he had to talk about it. Because, again, Nick was working off the Dick Masterson playbook. And if you let the other guy run with the narrative for too long without ever countering it, that becomes the canon. That becomes the lore. But here we are. You're so bad at it, and you're so stupid, and you're so bad at running a show, and you're so unfunny. Your show sucks so fucking hard that the dude managed to you have for a year run roughshod, being the only guy giving out the lore. And in one felled swoop, this other dude came in and changed the lore into you being a cum eater. And that's just permanently true. Why? Because we believe all women always, ladies and gentlemen. And let's change gears here just a little bit.
In the wee hours of the morning.
And let's go over to Mersh. Because again, Mersh was covering all this. And speaking of, I had Mersh reading the letter. I should have gotten Mersh to read the letter. I forgot I had Mersh reading the letter. Do we want to hear that just as like a fun little bit?
Let's see, is this sad?
Yeah, why not?
Let's see. There we go. Ready?
Here's Mersh's take.
This is from Aaron Imholte to April. The ring and everything. This is cringe. Ready?
Oh, God. Every fucking... Hey, just let the Tasmanian devil warm up here. He's got to pull start his motor.
I've been a bastard. I've been harsh to you when you...
I've been a bad Mersh.
Needed support. I've guilted and punished you when you've begged for mercy. I've broken your spirit just to keep my own world intact. This was gonna... I stopped being the man who helped us save each other.
By the way, I was like trying to find time codes, listening to Mersh. I had my AirPods in. You know, when you listen to these AirPods, it's like you don't even notice the AirPods anymore. It's like it's just happening inside your head. The mouth noises Oh my God. You know, I'm normally listening to them on headphones like this, which makes it's pretty bad already. When it's inside your own brain, these slurps and slops and gurgles and stroke grunts are some of the most horrifying. It's so much more disgusting than I ever even realized.
I took both of our feelings for granted and didn't nurture them. I lied to keep the wolves from our door. My lies hurt you because it showed I didn't first.
Okay, he doesn't know how to read. All right, I'm done with that. Let's go to, this is Mersh's deleted stream. Mersh was afraid of Patrick Melton DMCAing him, so he hid this. He said he deleted it, while in the same episode making a big deal about how it's impossible for him to take down my episode. He'll never be able to take it down. I'm live on Rumble, X, Odyssey. By the way, I checked Odyssey. It's not there. He hasn't uploaded anything to Odyssey in like over a year. I don't know where he thinks it's going on Odyssey. It's not going onto the website. But it turns out it is still on Rumble, though. He just unlisted it. So here we go. Let's turn back time a little bit, because this is where it gets interesting. This is where, you know, that big finale was not so good. So I've got a different big finale in store for you that I've had planned this whole time. Here's Dick Masterson and Vito, Jizwaldy, appropriately named for this episode. And they were at Hackamania. Here's their take on things.
And then I nurse my sorrows on Twitter, and what do I see? Nick talking about his goo or his cum being eaten. I say, there's no escape from this madness. Please.
I gotta say,
please, you two fucking, I can't say the word. Someone say it for me or I lose my bank account. Thank you. Are giving me a fixation on cum eating that I never thought I would have. What about you?
Okay, so this is interesting. You know, it wasn't that long ago that on the show, I don't remember if it was an after show or regular episode, they had Nick on The Biggest Problem, and all they could talk about the entire time was Aaron being a cum eater. This is how we already knew this story. When he says he's fixated on Aaron eating cum, he means it. Of course he is. You know, this is the type of thing, this is the kind of fanfic he's writing on, you know, the misconnections line on Craigslist after every Burning Man each year.
You're a weird fuck.
Well, I've never discussed. I was going to say, you know, of all the men's.
And we were watching this live, and there was a guy in chat. You know, it's pretty rare for someone to call out something like this and for Mersh to not ban them instantly. But the chat was actually kind of revolting on this, which the whole thing is revolting. But they were saying, like, this is not funny. Dick Masterson, Dick is not a funny guy. In fact, one person even said, loud equals funny. All they're doing this entire time, all of Hackamania, but certainly these two, it's just screaming. And you can hear it. The crowd, they're not buying it. They're not digging it. And so every time there's a lull, there's even the slightest little, there's no response, Vito, Dick start screaming so loud, forgetting that they're not just on, you know, amplified microphones in the room, but this is being streamed out. They start clipping the audio.
Cum in the world. The men's cum I've discussed the most would probably be Nick's at this point, other than my father's, but that's, you know, a long story.
Now when I hear about eating cum, I think about men doing it, and I didn't used to do that.
Oh, really?
Okay.
And I don't know how to unsuper chat things to get that back.
Now, so
okay, so you see what I'm talking. It's getting a little some brief silences, some dead air.
So Rekieta,
and of course Mersh doesn't fill in the blanks here either. Even Mersh, it got so bad, even Mersh called them out.
Had cum. And Aaron ate the cum? Yeah.
Somehow. Off of something.
Off of something. Is that true?
And it's bad for somebody, and I don't know who anymore.
Again, The entire weekend was just them talking about this.
Bad for April? You think? You don't think that was the best moment of her life? Because I kind of do.
Whoa, okay.
All right, so just to be clear, Dick thinks the greatest thing to ever happen to somebody is eating Nick Rekieta's cum. All right.
So after you eat a guy's cum,
or having another guy eat it off of you, I don't know how Burning Man works. I've never been. I've never even done one LSD.
It's like pretty hard to talk shit about him, right?
I think it's
like you know, you suck and you're not a good broadcast or whatever, and it's like you ate my semen.
I think you're part
him. Oh, I think I lose this exchange, unfortunately.
This is the guy saying this admitted to us that he sucks trans cock. I don't even know what to do with this information anymore.
I think you're part him forever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I liked when women do it, because I
yes, women.
Their souls forever. But now I don't like it anymore.
So you're saying when
hard drive and the crowd goes mild.
I've deleted. Thanks a lot, Nick.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So you're a guy who gets blowjobs.
It's like an ad. Like you see an ad enough times and you're like, oh, maybe I do want to try like the Tostito at Taco Bell for a limited time.
Are you saying you're thinking about eating cum?
So how many Craigslist ads has Dick seen at this point then?
What is happening?
I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you how advertising works.
There's obtrusive thoughts.
Who made this?
Oh yeah, somebody made a prop of bottled Nick cum. What are we doing? Where? I mean, this is what we've come to. This is the internet. Hi, welcome. The internet.show. Welcome.
You made this? No, I wish.
Well, Nick made it, but who bottled it? That's the real question.
That's my problem.
That's an excellent problem.
Yeah, thank
well, that
you.
leads me into my problem,
Simpsons.
I think, because we're talking about Nick Rekieta. Is Nick here yet? Where? Hey, guys, let's give it up for Nick Rekieta.
Wow.
Man of the hour.
The man of the hour. He opened up his relationship, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up. Says the guy who did the same thing that he's copying. By the way, we got to be clear about something here. Okay, let's talk about it. This has been a topic that's been on my mind. I've been talking with the cult about for a week or so now. Keeps coming up somehow. Microchimerism. All right, don't know where we're going with this. Stay tuned. Listen to this. Do you know what microchimerism is? Go ahead, Dirk. Explain it.
What, when you come in a lady, she kind of takes on a guy's traits? Or?
Okay, so, sort of, yeah, okay, hey, okay, sort of, kind of.
I explained it to him last night, so.
Okay, don't take credit.
Yeah, right. Okay, Urquhart, what's the husband stitch? Go ahead.
Well, it's the analog of the wife stitch that I invented.
Mm-hmm, right, yeah, emphasis on anal log. Yeah. Okay, so microchimerism, let's talk. This all wraps back into what we're watching here. All right. Microchimerism. I was talking to Chris about this one day. We were just having a friendly chat in Discord. Just came up. I don't know how. I don't know why. We're talking about like, ex-girlfriends and stuff. And it just came up that women, we all know this. We've talked about this on the show before. Women, after you've dumped them or they've dumped you, they start taking on your traits and your qualities. They start doing your hobbies. Every single girlfriend I've ever had has like taken one major part of my life, personality, hobbies, or interests and made that her entire thing the day we're no longer together. It's never when you're together. That'd be too convenient. That would actually maybe keep the relationship going. It's women don't have personalities. They get fucked into personalities. And the mechanism for this is something called microchimerism. And what happens is when you nut raw in a bitch, okay, maybe you see where this is going. When you nut raw in a bitch, of course, I've always been an advocate for never use condoms, never pull out, okay? And I never have. I've never done either of those things. When you blow a load in some girl, she takes on some of your DNA. It is absorbed through her vaginal walls. And I'm sorry to get too naturally illustrated here with you. Please, we've already spoken quite a bit of men's cum. If you can just deal with vaginas for a second, I hope you can stick with me here. This is a true thing, by the way. You can look this up. They try to memory hole this. They don't want you to know this shit at all. There are extensive studies on this, and there's certain scenarios involving, I think they did a test on the Amish or something with this, or some sort of weird group like that have a lot of inbreeding and and it's pretty common for girls to actually still be virginal to a certain age. And they were testing their DNA for stuff like this. They don't want you to know this shit. But every single girl who's gotten nutted in is now part that guy. So why are sluts so BPD and crazy? Because they're basically, it's like Freddy Krueger with like, they've got 50 different personalities. He's the son of 1,000 maniacs or whatever. Like, isn't the lore of Freddy Krueger that his mom got nutted in by 1,000 asylum guys, and then he was born of a gigantic galactic cum swirl inside her pussy? It's the same thing going on inside of a woman who has taken on many loads. She literally takes on your DNA, and it's just a tiny fractional percentage, but it does affect her. And there is that thing where, everybody knows that, when women have, when a couple has been together for a long time, they start looking like each other. We've all seen that. Oh, these two, they're like an old married couple. They look alike. Well, the reason for the guy didn't change. The guy looks the same. It's the lady starts looking like the guy a little bit, because she is literally taking on his DNA. This is something we inherently understood as a species. This is why virginity ever mattered. This is something that your caveman lizard brain knows inside you without ever, you don't have to do a scientific experiment. Why is slut shaming correct? Because otherwise, if you are taking 1 million loads from 1 million guys, you are now haunted. You have a pussy that might as well be a fun ride at the local carnival. And everybody's taking a spin and they're vomiting inside the ride, and none of these carnies are cleaning up the mess. These are permanent stains on these rides. And then you add on to that, the type of woman that does that. Again, we were talking about dumb bitch laws. What's the number one dumb bitch law? You got abortion. That's the absolute pinnacle of dumb bitchery. The type of women who are getting nutted in all the time are, of course, the type that are, getting abortions. So you want to talk about fucking haunted. I dated a girl. Okay, like I said, every girl I've ever been with. 3 different women that I was with. This was many years ago. 3 different women, after breaking up, became improvisers. That shouldn't be possible. No improv before me. That's their whole life now after me, is I'm an improv guy. Absolute insanity. Okay. And one of the girls I dated, I didn't know this. I dated a girl who had an abortion, and I didn't know that until after we were already together. And so you want to talk about haunted. This is not a friendly Casper style ghost. Okay. You could hear, she opened her legs and you could hear, mama. These are vengeful spirits too. She murdered this baby, and then she's got the DNA of 1,000 maniacs inside of her. you may know this girl. Her name's Bridget, and she was a co-host on the show a couple times. So if you've ever seen the Bridget episodes, you'll know what I'm talking about. Bridget was straight up bipolar BPD insane. She threw a laptop at my head and tried to kill me. Okay? She broke my vacuum cleaner. This was a nut bar. Emphasis on the nut. And of course, I added to that soupy mix. That's not good. This is true, though. Microchimerism is real. And it's so real, and this is the part that a lot of people aren't aware of, they pass your DNA down to their children. So if you have fucked a girl, and then you've broken up, and then she has kids with some other guy, that kid is a fraction of a fraction yours. Now, because this upends society as we know it, and again, 30 years ago, it wouldn't. 30 years ago, it would be exactly society as we know. It was the way we were all working. But now that, women are girl bosses and they give women their fake CEO jobs to make them feel like they're important. They give them their HR jobs to make them feel like they're in charge. Now that women are girl bosses, you can't have these discussions. There's no funding for checking in on this microchimerism thing. So we've learned as much as we're ever going to learn about it, and the rest is up to you to understand innately. And I believe I understand innately that the more you dump load into a lady, the more DNA of yours she now has in her. You're transforming her. And again, 100% proven that is passed on to her children. So if you've dumped if you were with a girl for a long time and you're doing some Nick and Ape style load dumps, okay? And then she goes off and has a kid with some other guy, that kid's like 1% your kid. I don't know if anyone here's ever had this experience. I've had several girlfriends who have gone on to have children after me. And I know there are technically other little 1% Jessies out there. Okay, other than my own actual children. These are sort of Nick Rekieta style kids. They don't really count as children. They're the kind, they're Aaron Imholte style kids, the kind you would give up in an instant. One of them, by the way, one of these girls had a straight up Down syndrome kid. So I know that one maybe was like 3 to 4% mine. I've seen it. I've seen these kids. It's obvious. It's obvious what's going on. Okay? They are going to have some of your personality. They're going to have some of your traits. The reason you want a virginal woman is so that you are raising a kid that is yours 100%. And unfortunately, that's just not a world that we live in, really, is it? It's almost impossible. Now, all of that is to say, Dick Masterson is having a baby with Maddox's ex. Maddox's ex used to take rip raw loads from Maddox inside her ass and pussy and mouth. She was drinking the stuff. And let's be clear, if Dick had the option to lick that shit off from between her pretty titties, he would have done it. This is a guy who would jump into Maddox's grave if he had the chance. He's taken every other thing. He's a Maddox skinwalker. Well, guess what? Dick Masterson's going to be raising Maddox's kids soon. Now, that's assuming that these kids are his at all. There's no reason to think that any of his DNA are in these kids. But 100% proven fact, a small portion of Maddox's DNA is going to be in these kids, which means the likelihood that Dick Masterson molests these kids has now gone up even more than you already fucking assume. Okay? Yeah, it's bad. I know. But his ultimate goal was always to be with Maddox. and he is. His girlfriend, his wife now, his quote-unquote wife now, is part Maddox. His children will be part Maddox. This is the horrifying experiment that these freak Cumguys are playing around in. It's not a joke, people. It's more than a feeling. It's more than this degeneracy thing. It's more, I've seen all the chats tonight. I've seen, mind blown. They're saying, ha, 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 just a drop. A little dab will do ya. It only takes one drop. One drop. How many millions of sperm are just in a drop, even? And Maddox was with Dick Masterson's wife for years. How many loads is that? We're going to need Patrick Melton to do the accounting on this one, because only he has that kind of math available to him. Now, all of this is to say, I saw the comments through the chat all night long. Everybody saying, oh, they're degenerates, they're freaks, they're sick. It's so much fucking deeper and so much worse than that. You're playing with lives. You're playing Frankenstein, Dr. Comedy. Okay? You are playing Dr. Monster, and you're building a new Frankenstein, a Frankenstein of every seed that's ever touched this woman. It's a horrifying prospect. Now, don't get me wrong. Most people out there, you're probably not your wife's first. And so you're probably, if you have kids, this applies to you too. The sick thing is, this is the guy who's going on Craigslist, sucking dudes off. This is the guy who we know wants to ape being Maddox so bad. This is the guy who has orchestrated any scenario where he could do anything freaky like this. And this is the dude who's been talking about cuties and defending it nonstop for the past 5 years or however long it's been. When you add these things up, it's a horrifying future for these kids. You think Nick Rekieta's kids have it bad? Just wait. And while Dick is skinwalking, LARPing as Maddox, Nick is doing the same with Dick. So what do you think the chances are that Nick hasn't let Dick fuck his wife? Dick's a swinger. Nick's a swinger. You think they're not Nick and Dick swinging? You think that he wouldn't let, while he's literally using this Hackamania weekend to relive the moments that Dick has gotten to do with Maddox, you think that's never happened? What are the odds that it's never happened? That it wasn't at the very least considered? It's zero. The odds, there's no chance. There is no chance that there wasn't at least a discussion about it. Now, if that is the case, we know Nick's rules. We know that you got to swap. And we know that 80s girl, Marie, Dick's wife, has been in one of these swap scenarios before. She was forced to sit in the cuck truck. She's never going to do that again. She's never going back to the cuck truck. She's going to get active. She had to fuck Nick while Dick had to fuck Kayla. If that happened, that has to be the case. Which means all this time where Dick was with 80s girl and said, I'm never marrying her, I'm never having kids, all of a sudden it happens. Out of nowhere, out of the blue. And by the way, she's like 43 or something. So these kids are going to be horrifically autistic and retarded. You think my microchimera kids are Down syndrome? Wait until you see these big-headed melon freaks. They're going to be walking out of Marie's pussy going, hello, buddy, just go ahead and turn me into a new lolcow. Here's the thing, though. How come he didn't get her pregnant anytime before? You think they planned this? No. I have a feeling there must be an autist out there. You know, I know they were doing this with Nick before, tracking his every movement. This is how they found out they went to hedonism. They had all the dates down. I need somebody to figure out the dates. When Nick and Aaron's thing was over, or maybe before it began, and when Nick and Kayla visited Dick or vice versa. We need the info on this because I posit, submitted for the approval of the PODAWFUL Cult Society, I posit that Nick Rekieta, a known, virile man, 5 children, fucked Dick's girlfriend, got her pregnant, and that is what forced Dick into this scenario. I don't think that's even his kid. I think it's Nick Rekieta's kid with a little bit of Maddox microchimerism. George Maddox, buddy.
I made a shitload of really, really bad decisions.
Oh, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I mean, does this not seem like it adds up? Does this not feel true? I submit this to the king.
The math is mathing.
The math is mathing on this.
I want it to be true really badly too.
So
I hope it's true.
So do we have a Dickamania weekend where we explore man's entire sexual history and find out for sure whether or not this took place? Now, this is just a theory. See, there's a lot of rumors out there swirling around about Dick Masterson. I'm not trying to say this definitely happened. This is just a theory, but I feel like it's built on solid scientific documented evidence.
Very happy he's here to be with us.
I just noticed the Nick.
He said happy to be here, by the way.
Cum bottle right there.
Y'all know you got done dirty. You did a couple other people dirty, but you got done the dirtiest of all. Because let's be clear, you provided what every town at one point knew they wanted. You were the town drunk, which used to be a valuable part of society. And now,
yeah, Mersh.
So now Mersh is thinking about his dad who beat him in the head so hard he broke his nose. It turns out Mersh's dad, when Mersh was a kid, broke his nose, and then they were living in like a house with no electricity. They had kerosene lamps. And then we do some further digging, this is something he revealed on his show recently. He was talking to Ethan Ralph, and he revealed all this info. And then we do some further digging. It turns out Mersh wasn't a kid when that happened. He was a grown man living with his dad and his sister in North Carolina. You know, all those adventures he had. He recorded Killjoy, the album Killjoy. He was living in North Carolina. So he was
back when he was 40.
He was that many years old when his dad broke his nose and then flipped over a kerosene lamp and caught fire. The town lolcow. Mersh and his dad.
I'm a lolcow.
now they try to arrest you for...
Okay, so Vito's town drunk line didn't work, so now he's going to scream.
What? Well, I'm saying...
Can I ask a question here? And I'm trying to be...
By the way, we're going to like Mersh here for a second. I apologize, but...
I'm going to cope and seethe. Be fair about this, okay? I think that Dick's funny. I think that Vito's funny. I know some of you guys don't think.
Yeah, the chat is not agreeing with him on this.
They're funny. Even though I do find Vito to be amusing, why is he taking point here? Why is he...
Oh, hey, can we just ignore Brian Allen Fortune in chat? The chat's not about Brian Fortune, okay? So, Brian, I know your mom's dying. Get over it. All right? Enjoy Rainbow Omega. Bye.
Like, it feels like...
Sorry, what is this? What is happening here? You're trying to have a fucking therapy session in my Cumguys chat? We tried to get you to be a cum guy. We tried to get you pussy. This is a 40-year-old virgin, Brian Allen Fortune. We tried to get him pussy, and he was too scared to do it. He's like, I'm going to get swept away by a tornado. And he wouldn't go. I'm done. We're done with you, Brian. Okay, we're done trying to help you out, man. We tried. You are do nothing. You're Mr. Do Nothing. You will never do anything. And you're going to die in a moldy sack covered in black and green and brand new colors of mold they've never even invented before. Pink. No, that one exists. That's in bathtubs. You'll have that one for sure. You're going to be covered head to toe in mold, and so's your mom. Your mom's going to die, and nobody's going to know for 12 weeks, and you'll just not tell anybody. No one's going to come for the cleanup. You'll just be eating her body as she perishes. I can't afford pizza now. I don't know what to do. You're 40, and you can't take care of yourself. You've never had a job because you're lazy, by the way. Not because you're retarded. You are retarded. But not because you're retarded, because you're a lazy piece of shit and you think it's everyone else's job. Not my job, not my chat's job. Please stop giving him attention in chat. I know I've just made this worse by saying it. Ignore. Ignore. And if I see more of it, every single person who gives him daylight in chat gets timed out, okay?
Vito's kind of taking charge in this show, and I, don't like it. Like, you're supposed to be fucking Dick's sidekick. Gatanic said, for real, right, Nick and Dick are both hypocrite cucks.
Yeah.
How is Dick a hypocrite? I mean, I could see why you'd make the case that Rekieta is a hypocrite because...
Right.
Rekieta is, he was like Christian homeschool guy and church guy and all that conservative shit. So I could see why you'd go, well, that's...
I'm a lot of guys. Why can't a guy be a lot of guys?
It's bullshit. But how is Dick a hypocrite? Dick's like a hedonist, very self-interested guy. Like, I don't understand.
Oh, yeah, by the way, happy Mother's Day. Yeah, Brian Allen Fortune's mom is dying, and happy Mother's Day. Thank you. In chat. Sorry.
And where you,
you got to understand, I've had to deal with Brian a lot. And he keeps messaging me, and I've ignored him, and he doesn't get the hint. And anytime you try to help him, he doesn't. He's like Aaron Imholte. The goons can't take the help. They refuse it every single time. Done.
Dick kind of advertises what he is.
Gay, sucking and fucking, dildo up the ass, sparkly dildo up the ass. I'll suck off any guy from Craigslist style, Burning Man, drug addict, balding, furry cow. Is that the type?
I mean, and the cuck thing, I don't.
You sure? Because again, he's about to have his wife give birth to another man's child.
Again, if you're calling...
and I'm not talking about Nick and that, the confirmed one, Maddox.
Dick a cuck because I saw somebody earlier, I don't know if it was Rai or Gatanic, but one of you guys is doing the whole Juju the Cow thing, which I'm sorry, but that's one of those internet stories that if you believe that shit, you're fucking retarded.
Oh, really?
It really is retarded.
Well, wait
the Juju the Cow thing,
but
it's just... a thing somebody made up, and then the internet
who made it up?
Just ran with it. But it sounds so absolutely ridiculous that I don't think that happened.
Oh yeah? Do you think that Aaron ate cum? Because here's the thing. That was just a thing that somebody made up, maybe. And it sounds like Dick believes it. They're talking about it nonstop that Aaron ate the cum. And it sounds like Vito believes it and you believe it. How is Dick a hypocrite? Well, I have an idea. I didn't know this was still up. I have an idea. It's Juju the Cow is how. Because, as I said, I believe all women. I've always believed women. When it comes to ex-girlfriends after the fact, telling stories about guys that they now hate, I've always believed every story any woman has ever told me when it comes to that. Particularly when it comes to them saying it in a private message that they never thought would ever be public in any way. Speaking of which, here's Jamie Lynn Hughes, Dick Masterson's ex-girlfriend, having a private message with an artist. This is from May 19th. And by the way, mine has dates and times on it. So it's a little bit different than the April one. But either way, we believe all women, don't we, folks? Yeah. I know Dick does. I know Mersh believes all women. He believes ape. If you can believe coke addict ape, you can certainly believe Jamie Lynn Hughes, who, by the way, actually did get her life together and get everything back on track on her own after the fact. Jamie Lynn Hughes was contacting an artist, and it just so happened, this is before anyone had ever heard the term Juju the Cow. Again, you can check the dates. May 19th, 2020 is when this is from. No one knows what this is. There's no reason to lie in a private message like this to a stranger. She contacted someone she found on Twitter who had open commissions for art to be made. What she didn't know is, and we didn't even know this at the time, the dude who she contacted, by pure coincidence, was a PODAWFUL cult member. Here's what she said. LOL, I have an idea. So she had already contacted him about drawing some other thing for her. Okay. And then she says, I have an idea. Instead of drawing me, draw this, a fat dairy cow sitting on her, in quotes, ass with her arms rest. I'll put this on screen so you guys can see. I'm not making this up. With her arms resting over the top of a wooden fence while an ugly old farmer milks her tiny udders into a tiny pail. Hang a name tag of Juju on her neck, and don't send it to me, tweet it to me. Don't make it complimentary of the subject. No particular reason and completely unrelated to current drama. If you want to put anything in the background, something like a Burning Man scene might work. Maybe she has a microphone and a glass of whiskey in her hand too. Let's put your shitty art to some fucking use, shall we? Farmer should be skinny, she says. LOL, sure, says the artist. Why not? I might send it here before I tweet it out so you can tell me if I got it right. Oh, by the way, did you see this person? Okay, this is some other thing. And then they draw a cow being milked by this, disgusting long-haired freak. It says Juju. There's a Burning Man in the background. She says, whoa, you're fast. Smaller udders. Oh, man, why'd you have to do that one? The dude, I can tell you this for a fact, because we know the artist. The dude who made this had no clue what this meant, what it was. Nope. In that moment, he didn't know that was a joke about how small Dick's penis is, which, by the way, we know is true, is small, because another woman and an entire audience full of people told us this, because one time at UCB, Dick got on stage fully naked. And let's just say that cow wasn't ready to be milked. It was cold. So the artist says, LOL, okay. And she says, yes, I like that. Okay, so for this to be the best effect possible, we can't really talk about why this is being made. We've got to be as aloof as possible. No direct mentions of Dick or the show or the drama. And again, even after she said that, the guy had no fucking clue what she was talking. He thought she was insane. She just paid him to draw this thing. He's like, okay, whatever you say, lady. And it wasn't until months later that all this Juju stuff came out and we reconnected that dot and realized, oh, wait a second. Women don't lie. Do they, Mersh?
So it's just, I don't, how is he a hypocrite?
How is he a hypocrite? Well, I'll give you two options. Either Juju is real or Aaron doesn't eat cum. Now, I want to live in a world where Juju is real. Okay? I also want to live in a world where Aaron Imholte eats cum. I feel like you do too, Mersh. I feel like you want to live in that world. Maybe not the Juju one. Maybe not. Maybe you're trying to, shield your friend here. But I have a feeling. All right, let me put it to you like this, Mersh. Let's say the Juju thing are, I don't know, Aaron Imholte's kids, and Aaron eating cum is April. Okay, which one of these things can you live without? Do you really want to make the right choice here?
You're the one who said it, so explain to me how he's a hypocrite.
I think I've done that.
Rai said, yeah, I was saying Vito Dick. He's more of a backstabber. Okay, but
ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I gotta ask in chat. Hang on a second. Let me just ask in chat real quick. We're gonna start a real fast poll here. Do you believe all women? Yes. Aaron eats cum. No. Juju isn't real. Let's just go ahead and start that poll.
How? Here's the thing, man. A lot of people come in here and then you just like say shit about internet people that you've never met. And then when I ask you to explain why, a lot of people can't explain to me why. How is he a backstab? Who is he stabbed in the back?
Have you ever heard of a guy named Maddox? What the fuck? Are you fucking retarded? Who has Dick stabbed in the back? Ugh. Oh, God. Hey, we don't have time for this. Do you mind? Jesus Christ, how much deeper can you? This guy eats fingernails. Aaron eats cum.
K-Tanic said Dick confirmed the Juju thing himself along with Marie and Jamie Lynn. Then find me a clip.
So right there, he says, along with Jamie Lynn, a girl said it. Find you a clip. We've got the clip. Do you think we don't have the clip? Hang on a second. Dick Masterson. Let me just pull up my personal files here. Dick Masterson. I know we've played this on the show before. I've got to have this here. Didn't I play this for Eric July? Oh, did I not save it? This one might have just been on Twitter, and I didn't save this one. We definitely have the clip somewhere. I hear it. I've got Dick Masterson saying he wants to fuck kids. I've got Dick Masterson saying that it's not a crime to enjoy little boys sucking cock or something like that. Here he is saying that he'll never have a wife and never have kids. Ooh, I know we've got it here somewhere. Come on, Jesse. I'm gonna get it.
Find me a clip of it, or it didn't happen.
Oh, really? Oh, find me a clip of Aaron eating cum. Actually, don't. Actually, you know what? I'm good. I believe it. I'm good. That's fine, actually, that one.
The Panthers win? Nice.
Mersh, by the way, this is like week, I don't know, however many. Mersh has been sober, quote unquote, Mersh style sober for 18 days or something here. He's also trying not to gamble, but his chat is trying to get him to start gambling again.
He might win the Stanley Cup again.
He's a gambler, man.
Oh, he's a gambler. He's a card carrying member.
Like the Panthers have blown some pretty.
Speaking of blown. Speaking of blown, let me see if I can find this Juju thing.
They've blown a couple of games that should have been a gimme, so they're not perfect, but I will say, man, they've also won some really tough games. Chuck Norris Gun Club said, like, Dick.
You ready for this? Here we go. Found it. Luckily, I bookmarked this one. Here we go. Find you a clip.
Thank you. I don't know. Ask Null to read the origin of the cow stuff.
The cow stuff.
I think everyone would really like to see that text.
I think the cow stuff's kind of hot.
Well, I mean,
I'm like, tell me more about this. Tell me more about this cow stuff.
Read the whole thing.
So there is cow stuff. That much is confirmed here.
Read the whole thing.
Read the whole thing.
I'm like,
read the whole thing and see how gay it is.
So he's implying it's not gay, which also implies that it is real. Just to be clear, this is the guy who also thinks that Nick did nothing gay. So we don't really care if it's gay or not. Whatever you think about it being gay doesn't matter.
Well, like, is it true that you they asked they only whatever?
Read how many animals were involved.
A lot of
were involved. I had so many dickheads coping and seething over this one, saying this is not an admission.
I'm going to cope and seethe.
Sorry, but there can't be animals involved, and it can't be gay or not unless it occurred.
Not just the one. Meow man, check.
He seems to know exactly how many. And of course, what he's referring to there is the original leaked screenshots about this were Jamie Lynn Hughes saying that he is Juju the Cow, and he would also pretend to be a stallion. He would force the girls to pretend that he is a big black horse with a big black penis. Wonder why. Wonder what fantasy that fulfills for him. Wonder what shortcomings he might have. And of course, the girls also had their own personas. Do you think that was their idea?
Eggs for 5. Chins up, Vito.
Okay, so there you go. There's your clip, Mersh. Was that good enough, or is Ape the only real woman here?
Probably find a funnier partner. So there you go. Right there. How could he be a backstabber?
Okay, I'm not sitting here listening to you suck any harder than, you normally do.
Rai said Dick Masterson also stabbed Ralph in the back, and you know it. I don't agree.
Oh, okay. Isn't that convenient? You can just go no.
I don't agree.
Well, how does Ralph feel about that one? Your friend.
Ralph said some shit about Dick. Dick said some things about Ralph. They both said things I think that they'd like to take back, but how did he stab him in the back? Again, you guys are such fucking drama farming.
Yeah, and Ray says, and also Dick imagines himself as the girl in porn. Another thing that Dick admitted out loud on his own show.
Little queens. You guys sound like women in a fucking nail salon sometimes.
Anyway, back to the live footage of guys talking about guys eating cum.
Stabbed him in the back. Why? Because he didn't want to do the Milo stream? Because he didn't want to risk getting his fucking channel nuked for a fucking Milo Ralph showdown?
It was his idea. Okay. I gotta skip it. I cannot listen to that. That is insane. I've got one more little time code here. This is just a funny little bit. So the whole time, there's been a guy named Gay Tannic in chat that has been absolutely just destroying Mersh at every turn, derailing the entire stream. Then other people start jumping in too and start talking shit about it. And they're tired. They think this shit is gay. So they don't want to watch it anymore. Then this happens.
Okay, this is lame. Bye. All right, California Tiki, I'm going to make this very easy for you.
So our guy says, okay, this is lame. Bye.
For you. You're now banned forever.
You can't fire me, Mersh, because I quit. He's already gone. He didn't even hear you say that. Oh no, I'm banned forever from the lame thing I chose to leave. And back to sucking.
California just broke one of the cardinal rules.
The cardinal rule of you have to keep liking the show forever. You're not allowed to break that rule. Okay, everybody.
Watch PODAWFUL. Watch your show.
Watch PODAWFUL, indeed. Let's end this poll with 114 votes. Yes, Aaron eats cum. So, ladies and gentlemen, Juju the Cow is, in fact, real.
I'm about to bust.
Nick Rekieta and I are fucking each other. PODAWFUL made me do it.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Henchman, for joining me. Oh, hi, Lenny.
Hi, Lenny.
Hey, what's up? Guys, Lenny joined. He just sat there quiet the entire time, never said anything. Lenny, everybody, is here. Hey, Lenny. He unmuted, lit up, no sound happened. Yeah. Zero sound happened. And now we're just here.
Bing, bing. Test.
There we go. Hi,
bing,
Lenny.
Bing, boom. I had been saying things and I thought you guys were just ignoring me.
Well, Lenny, you broke one of the cardinal rules of Pod Awful. Sorry, buddy, but you gotta go. You're banned forever now from speaking. You're not allowed to talk around here anymore, okay? Okay, I guess he got the memo on that one. All right, well, the rest of you are allowed to talk. Join our Discord, podawful.com/cult. Join the Pizza Fund, podawful.pizza. Get our bonus content and primo content. Until next time, have an awful day. See ya. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Hey, Lenny, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I am high energy. I can't control myself.